right, guys, welcome in, everybody. We're here with episode 11 of The Haunting of Harrowstone. I hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody's having a good enough time. Yeah, team.
Good enough.
Yeah, good.
I mean, I'm here, so.
I
right.
guess. All right.
I had
guess.
the ability to wake up
Good
this morning.
enough.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, small victories, I suppose. Celebrating mediocrity since at least 87, right? Right? Yeah.
Wait, is that when you were born?
That's exactly when I was born, yes.
I'm
out. I'm out. Goodbye.
Oh, goodness
I
gracious.
got a hot cocoa, so maybe it's going good.
Some good news. We haven't even gone into recap, and you guys already have your first luck reroll.
Oh.
So Phelan came through with 5, and then just before
Thank
that,
you, Phelan.
we had another one. Hold on thought.
Dragon of Shadows.
Yep, Shadow of Dragons. Gifted 5, so that's
A
10.
little
That's,
dyslexia.
bam, right there.
Oh, and Jen.
Thank
Oh,
you.
and
Holy
Jen.
crap.
10.
Oh, all right, that's 2. That's 2 hot luck
Yeah,
rerolls.
buddy.
Bam.
We gonna need it.
Perfect. All right, guys. So, what happened last time?
You want to know what happened last time?
I'd love to know what happened last time.
Okay.
I can tell you what happened last time.
Will you tell me?
But for the sake of our chat over here,
Mhm.
I need you guys to do me a favor. Get your rest to get possessed for tonight's harrowing recap. Oh, my leg. Sorry, I need to give that to some people in the chat. They've been deprived. and they
Oh
needed
my
it.
god. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much. Adam Strain with 10 gifted subs. That's
My boy.
Trace luck rerolls, guys. You're I mean,
Thanks, Adept.
you're getting there.
Probably gonna need that.
You're getting there. You're doing
Yeah.
things.
Thank you.
Try.
What happened last time? What can you recall?
We heard some weird flute sounds, and we saw these big sturges flying above. We finally kind of like recouped. We were all see bird puns. We all got together, other than Wyld, who we weren't sure what happened to his character. We're like, "Where you at, son?" But no one knew.
Yes.
We made our way towards where we think the sound was coming from and where the sturges were headed. But on the way, once we went, a weird thing happened where all of our weapons got golden and glowy.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
And we could see something, like we were on like the other side of a field, I'm guessing is what's happening. And then we could see Wyld's character, kind of Torvin, out there on the ground near somebody or something, but we couldn't really make out what was going on. And then we could see a sturge kind of in that direction. And there was like a barn or something like that we saw. And we decided to go invisible. Really, it was only supposed to be Oz,
Yep.
who's gonna sneak over and check out what happened, but totally on purpose, definitely purposely made everyone else invisible so we could all go together, because we don't want to split up. That would be bad, right?
Correct.
You don't want to split up your party. But as we got closer, we had to kind of get into the barn to really see what was going on. And we didn't really see Torvin's character at that point because we were focused on this lady who was like bleeding and freaking out.
Yeah, being very loud.
Yeah, screaming.
Was she-
Really
was
loud.
she
I don't
bleeding?
think she was wounded. I think she just had the other guy's blood on her.
She
Oh,
at
she
that- at
looked
that
like
point-
she looked like she was bleeding from our perspective. We didn't
Yeah.
know whether she was bleeding or not.
She was
At least
covered in blood. you
I
know?
saw blood. Oz is like, I'm clearly a doctor. She's dead.
Yeah, I threw
Oz
her.
MD over here.
She bumped into my invisible body, and I grabbed her, and then I was like, "Oh, Torvin's outside. You know, it'll be fine. He can watch her while we, kill all these mosquito things." So I threw her on the ground. I was like, plunk. I just threw her on the ground, and then I slammed the door shut, thinking, "All right, I've cut off her from danger. Torvin's out there to protect her."
Yeah.
And then we moved in to kill the mosquitoes. And
Which I'd like to say we actually did a decent job at.
mean,
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
of you did.
I
Ish.
smacked one on the head a little bit.
you
I
did.
killed
Really
one.
liked me.
I did kill one. That did happen.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
Well, before that,
Did it?
would like to say that Imperial's character did not do so hot.
oh yeah, we had Pevrin
I
too
have-
before that with us too.
That's right.
Yeah,
He ran up
Tripp.
and Tripp. Yeah.
And we gave
And we
him two
gave him
daggers.
weapons.
Yeah.
I may have a hole in me.
You became
Many-
even
many?
holier.
Yeah.
Yes,
a
even
few.
holier.
Stomach.
Temerity got messed up, and people tried to help her.
There was some pants involved. They're very wee, but they fit very nicely over the top of the wound.
Yeah, Pecker's
Very helpful.
pants, and I still can't get over Eli trying to like take everything out of his bag, and he's like, "This grappling hook, we could totally use this to heal
Just
her."
knit her right back together with the grappling hook.
Grappling hook knitting.
I mean,
You gotta get creative and-
Yeah. Where there's a
Combat
will,
It was
there's
a
a way.
large
situations.
hole.
Yeah, it was an extreme form. It's an extreme form of knitting around these parts.
Like a grappling hook to like suture a wound would work maybe for like a giant, but not a Temerity.
I mean, I'm like 5'5".
That does not make you a giant.
Are you sure?
I mean, that's almost twice Torvin's height.
I'm 5'11".
Hey.
I think Rye is over 6 feet.
Oh.
Yeah, I think Rye's like 6'1", 6'2", something like that. And Tripp, as
Yeah.
we all know, is in the body of an 11-year-old.
Tripp's a badass. We found out, freaking backflipping off shit and
That's right.
stabbing giant sturges.
Yeah,
Old Drax.
Clearly a rogue type.
just I was scared for my friends. I was like, "Oh my god, my queen's getting attacked!" and just jump into action. And that was pretty much what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, normally Eli would have been like, "Oh, I gotta protect this kid," but after all the information we found out, he's like, "I think Tripp is gonna be able to protect him better than us right now. So let's suit him up with some,
Oz
some
is like-
daggers."
He's over 3 weeks old. He's not a kid anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Time to grow up.
Time to grow up, man.
Welcome to the real world.
I feel like every
Following-
time that phrase gets thrown out, they're like, "That's protect Pevrin." I'm like, I gotta save someone's life now.
Yeah.
I think you like
Uh,
killed 2 mosquitoes by yourself or something.
Yeah.
Following
It
the
was
fight.
one. Yeah.
Following the
I-
fight,
I'm-
though, you went outside and some things were sort of shaken up.
Well, Temerity's eyes turned red,
Yes.
Yes.
Which- is a whole other thing. But outside, Oz was gonna go check on the lady. And because we like once things calmed down, everyone was like focused on Temerity, and Oz was like, "I'm gonna go check on Torvin and the lady." And so I tried to like move the door, but it wouldn't open,
Uh-huh.
which it probably made worse things. So I opened the other sliding door, and she would dead. She was like slouched over. I looked at her for like 2 seconds, dead. Like I said, 10 out of 10. I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
But I could see Torvin off in the distance, and he looked like maybe he could still be alive. Like I said, 10 out of 10, doctor. Go over to Torvin, and who was with me? Someone else was with me.
Tripp.
Yeah, Tripp went with me, and he also agreed she did. And although he probably has a better reason for knowing if she's dead or not, we were looking over him, and it was kind of weird. We didn't really see blood.
Well, I
We
mean, you did
kind of
see
saw a little bit of blood
A little
around
bit
the
of blood.
edge.
when you walked outside, there was a sturge on his back.
Yeah, I fucking think that shit.
Yeah, you did. You did. You did in fact. You took it out with a
Arrow.
single shot. You did in fact. You wanted curved your arrow. Very good.
It's true. But when that's not the important part. I do that in my sleep, man.
Oh,
Come
okay.
on.
All right.
I'm
Noted.
just kidding.
Noted. Got it.
I'm just kidding. Oz is like the most unfunctional of everyone here. That's probably the first useful episode of him. But we were looking at his body and his wounds, and we couldn't really see any blood. And we found out that he's made out of like clay or something. I don't know, some sus stuff. And then we found his pouch, and all that was in it was blood. So very reassuring news. But Tripp and I carried him back into the shed, and I think that's kind of where we left off. We were all arguing about stuff.
Oh yeah, the possession. He woke up and started talking to us.
Why did he?
yeah.
Was he technically unconscious, or what was really going on with that?
He was possessed.
He had a pipe hand.
Yes.
My
'Cause it
favorite,
was the
my favorite
point.
thing he said was color tricks.
Oh yeah, because we used a little crystal on him, a
That's
little
right.
grenade.
Yeah, whenever we tried to siphon him, but clearly that did not work on him because
It
he
did
was
not.
still floating out there. But he did go away.
He
So-
evacuated before I think he could get sucked away.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I
Maybe.
don't think in his current form, unless we found like the actual spear. I don't really know how it works, but yeah, the soul siphoning the haunt siphon didn't seem to be effective in that situation.
Yeah. But before that, Torvin was like had little holes in his hand, and it was like,
It was
and
like
then
a
Tripp's
blue.
like, I know what's up. And Tripp walks over and starts sucking on his fingers and making.
I do not
weird-
suck anything. I blow.
You were okay blowing.
Passionate blowing was
Sorry.
like.
I forgot. Eli's the sucker. You're the blower. Gotcha.
Oh my god.
Guilty.
It's the truth.
Guilty.
I'm not lying.
I'm classy, okay? It was gentle.
He was blowing on his hands, and it was creepy.
I had to
And
lick
then-
my lips first.
He told us about the Piper, and that's what we think was possessing Torvin. Because when he went away, the holes on his fingers went away, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
It disappeared.
Yeah. They
But I hope
disappeared.
so.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that Torvin's a conduit, obviously, since he got possessed. And
Is
Rye
Torvin
also
still made
got
out of-
possessed?
Clay after the possessions went away too, or is he still got some
Yeah.
clay?
You
That
guys
hole
didn't
was
really
still
try to
there, wasn't
seal
it?
up his body.
Yeah.
And like
Thanks,
Rye
guys.
was like Rye literally went from like knuckles deep in the back of Temerity's body trying to plug these bleeding ports, courtesy of these creatures, to immediately walking over and grappling the possessed dwarven man.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah. And then Rye had said and not even really discussed it, demanded it, like gag him, shut him up.
Oh
gag
yeah,
him.
he wanted us to like shut him up.
Yeah, make the spirit guy not be able to talk.
Which we
Um,
did.
Yeah, I don't really know how to deal with a clay wound.
Yeah, it's true.
As well. It's I can grappling hook some flesh, but
Oh my
I don't
god.
know. I don't know.
Yeah,
about
we
clay.
have plenty of it now since there's a dead woman outside. We just take
I have
part of her
more
back and just
pants,
paste it over.
more tiny
Oh,
rooster
no.
pants.
Oh,
I mean, they're
Should've
not
kept
very
that lady
tiny.
by me.
I don't
thought
know. It
she was gonna
depends on the size of the
survive.
wound.
True.
Tiny-ish.
We're never gonna be able to figure out why those two were targeted, if there was a reason, because they're both dead now. Which was not my intention. I should have just kept
We need
her
a white
by me, I
necromancer.
guess. Is
They
that a
can
thing?
raise the dead and talk to them.
Okay. Yeah, we just gotta go find one of those. Easy.
Yeah, necromancers are not like they don't really come with like friends aplenty. They don't hang out at the local pub, especially like in a town that like heavily worships Pharasma.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was saying a white necromancer, because those are like, they have like happy spirits that they work with, They're like,
I'm looking for
"Hey,
the Bob
Fred,
Ross
I
of
really need you to
necromancers."
like go over there and
Yeah.
grab me the thing. And Fred's like, I'm a zombie. All right, I'll do the thing. That's my impression of a white necromancer.
You have a lot of experience with. I mean, I'm gonna need you to like help me co-write some of my stories at this point. I'm here for it.
Do we have to like bury these bodies, or just go tell somebody about them, or
I
are
think we
just leave them
should.
there?
These
No.
two were clearly getting it on, so we need to tell their parents, whoever
Clearly?
they are.
Yeah.
His pants were down.
Yeah,
I'm making
mean-
assumptions.
Yeah, his chesticles were showing, bro.
his
Yeah.
his chesticles were a showing. Oh man.
That's these.
Okay, all right. So we've got some information. The episode came to an end with this figure this figure, right, leaving, and he left you a message. There was a message after you had used the haunt siphon. What did he say?
He just needs to find the rest of his flute.
Wait until I find my flute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever that means. I mean, that could just be very direct. He might.
I think we don't let him find his flute. That's what I think.
So the last time we
Yeah.
saw the flute, it was my hand.
Yeah.
Oh no. Just
I'm sure it's fine. Everything's fine.
fine, take it. Look, just oh god.
Perfect.
This party, oh my lord. Okay.
Then we will.
Oh, you're okay if I chop your hand off? All right.
I look, it's
We will begin our session today inside of that same barn. It was post-use of the haunt siphon, that lingering message that sort of built this tension on the air. Temerity, you still do not feel the damage that had been done to your body. The puncture marks that had repeatedly gone through you to sort of stitch up your flesh. Nothing. It's painless. You almost feel invincible. Maybe a little lightheaded at times, but invincible. It starts with Torvin stirring. Everyone gathered around,
oh the giblets.
started fire. The floor is open. It's yours.
Tripp will peek his head back around the door after he hears the Piper speak his words. Is it safe?
I don't think any place is safe around here. Got giant sturges. We've got weird stuff coming in and out of here. No, nothing's safe.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
What
Is that actually Torvin waking up? What is going on with you, man?
I'll
But-
take the gag out of his mouth.
Oh,
Sorry, he made us do it.
I wouldn't you?
are you hurt? What? Can I like look at the wound to see if it's still made of clay after he's not possessed?
Sure, when you sort of like lean down to investigate the wound on the back, there are trace amounts of blood, but it looks like it has sort of begun to coagulate, and it almost looks as if it is attempting to sort of bind itself, like the tissue of muscle had started to swell, and you can see a little bit of that like clay-like substance, but something has stopped it. It's either cauterization or it's some sort of mild anticoagulant. You're not entirely certain. It's not your field of expertise.
That doesn't look right to me.
What's wrong?
You don't feel that?
I
I
found you.
feel it. I'm sore. God.
I found you fighting a sturge. Don't worry, we took care of it. But when we dragged you into here, you were pretty wounded. But I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you. You're made out of clay. What's the deal, sir?
Torvin, give me a wisdom. Give me a memory test here. Your last memory, the last you recall, you were following the Sturges. You're pretty quick at it, you're deft at it. This is not a weak skill for you. Moments after you broke the hedge line of the field of corn, you are certain that you felt a presence stalking you, almost like a reverse situation. And before you could really react, you froze with fear, and you've just awoken. Oz says, "You're made of clay. What's that about?" Excuse me. What's that about?
Sir? Don't forget the sir.
Sir?
I don't remember much. I saw the Sturges. I tried to find a good location to scoot, but I guess one got me.
I'm assuming that you got possessed, and that's why you don't remember. I mean,
I got what now?
well, something took over your body.
Just like the boy right now.
Tripp gives him a quick nod, like, yep.
Wait,
Yeah.
Tripp, you went into my body. Look, we talked about it. No.
No, not me. Another
They-
went into
They were calling him Piper. I think it's another one of those murderer people.
And what about his
Uh.
bag? Is it full of blood still, Oz?
I handed the bag to Tripp, so Tripp has the bag.
Curious. You guys have you've managed to ungag him, but
Mhm.
are you gonna
He's still
unbind
tied
him?
up. Not yet. He's still tied
No,
up.
he's getting interrogated.
No. Just laying on the ground.
I'm just like, oh, it's so sort of, oh, at least I feel comfy. Wait, that's ropes.
start dragging the blades against the stone. I'm like, there's another thing in Harrowstone I'm known for. And then
I
he
look
just-
over to Tripp to see. I was like, Tripp, look inside the bag. Is it still blood in there?
Yep, still full of blood.
It still remains one of the pouches that he had contained some of this tobacco in. You're not sure if there was an importance to it, if the tobacco was still there. You're not entirely sure, but one thing is for certain: it's incredibly bloody, and there seems to be a standing pool of it inside of this small pouch in his bag.
Well, you got a bag full of blood, and you made out of clay.
Yeah,
What
I don't.
is happening, sir?
Whatever possessed you killed the innocent woman that I tried to save earlier.
What?
The possession's not going to cause him to also be filled with clay. So, I don't know. I would like to start there. Just. putting it
That's
out
what I
there.
keep asking. What's
What
the
do you mean,
clay?
what do you mean clay? What?
Like as if if you have a wound, like I don't know this one, and we looked inside, there was clay there and not blood. Is that
You know,
Why are you
meat,
looking inside
muscle,
of me?
flesh.
What's wrong with you?
Can I take like a bit of the clay and show it to him?
You still have some
Is
of the
this
residue at this point. That's like
normal?
amidst some of your fingers, right?
Yeah, I show you the clay.
Oh, look, that's embarrassing. Look, stop. No, look.
He seems to be refusing to like peer directly at it, declaring it's
I
an embarrassment.
Try to like put it in his face.
Oh no! Look what you did!
Would you mind untying me whilst you do that, perhaps?
Well, I don't think I'm gonna untie you until you tell me what's going on, because I asked you 3 times now and you haven't answered.
she has a point? I mean, he has a point.
To agree with Oz as well, which pains me deeply.
I'm sorry, Master Torvin, but I'm with the group on this one.
So, you want to tie me up and
Well, right tied you up.
demand
When
that
you were
I talk
possessed.
about my privies? That's who I'm talking to. That's this group here. Is that right?
Nope, that's them. They have the power to do that. I'm just over here with this. Speaking of which, I'm gonna tap the bottom of the bag. Does it just feel like it's just the pool of blood that's at the bottom, or is there like a substance like?
So to be certain, it's the backpack isn't full of blood. It is a small tobacco
Full of
pouch. It is a tobacco pouch inside of the backpack that actually has blood in it.
So okay, the actual pouch itself is the one with the blood, not the
Yeah,
actual backpack.
it's a bag in the bag.
Okay, so then I will inspect that bag of blood to open it up. Is there anything else in there other than that?
Nope.
Okay. I'll tie that out and then just kind of keep it on the side. But the bag itself doesn't have any markings or anything.
Do you pull it out of the bag itself to fully inspect?
Yeah, that's what I was doing to see if there was anything in it.
Torvin, if you appear to be watching over, it looks as if Tripp is sort of like rifling through your belongings, and he draws out what is one of your bandoliered tobacco bags. And when you glance down, it's actually it's been cut away from your body.
Yeah, we had to cut it off from you.
It's one of your favored bags, one that was a special use tobacco. It's kind of harder to come by in the area, and I'll let you dream up the flavor, but it is gone from your person, and all of that tobacco has been dispersed into the ground and wind.
Where is my ember weave?
Master
Back to
Torvin,
back.
there's nothing in here other than this. And as Tripp will open it, and I guess on like the stone padding or like the stone lining of the fire that we made, he'll like drip out the blood, like he'll pour it out.
Reveals that there is maybe traces of tobacco that have stuck to the small bag itself, but what you're looking at is some blood that's starting to coagulate into like a pulp.
Oh, they took my amber weave. Oh, that's terrible.
That's what you're worried about? There's a bag of
No,
blood
no.
in your
What-
backpack. You're made
what
out
I'm
of
worried
clay.
about-
You're refusing to answer our questions. I asked you like 4 times, and now you want me to untie you, but you won't answer the questions.
No, I don't want you to untie me.
Wait,
Eli, untie me now. This is the last and only time I'll be saying this.
what?
Trust is something that is earned and not given, and you've given us 3 different reasons to not trust you, including a body outside the door.
If I may, I don't think it's right that we say that to him. He has helped us quite a bit. This circumstance is unusual, sure, but up until this point, that wound hasn't really indicated anything negative.
I would
about
agree
him.
with that.
Yeah.
I still think that Piper fellow might, or one of the Sturges might have to do with, well, no, probably the Piper thing, because her throat was slit.
And to be fair, there's 6 of us, 5 of us here.
Well, I mean,
Does
really,
anyone-
4.5, if you want to get technical.
Does anyone know where he was the first time we were attacked? I seem to remember him being
I
absent.
start
as
to
well.
resist the bindings.
Sure. Let's see here. Do you have... You can try to give me an escape artist here. That's actually not terrible. That met the DC, even or odd, in your favor.
Evens.
You got it.
This is where I'd be like, get him, Rye.
It is odd.
Restrain.
You can force me to reroll if you'd like. You've got 4 rerolls.
You know, it's a good time. I hardly ever use these things. Yes, absolutely.
Go for it. Let's see what we got here. So even, you said you're still claiming even? Let's see what it rolls up. 120's been moving real slow for me today.
Suspenseful.
Yeah, I know, right? I paid for the whole seat, but I only need the edge. It's odd
His
again.
wound's just closing up by itself over
You-
here too.
You rustle
Yeah,
against this, and you
it
can
looks like it is.
you can feel that it's got some give in it, but it's just the angle. They managed to tie it just high enough of the arm that you're struggling with it a little longer, a little more duress, and you think you could get through this.
Well, I continue doing it for longer.
Sure.
And if duress is required, then I'll be bringing it.
Yeah. I got you. We'll give you
I'll-
another roll in a moment.
While he struggles, I'll go over and like one-handedly, like with one over my wound, just kind of with the dagger, like, and let him out.
Okay, you're gonna cut his bind. Okay, gotcha. You feel a blade sort of move up against your hand, and then with a tight and stiff pull, there is a slip of the rope, and it releases from your arm. Temerity has freed at least your arm.
Okay. I look a little concerned at the red eyes looking at me and then continue to make myself free.
Sure, it'll take just a few moments still before you're able to free up your other arm and then start kind of moving the bindings off your lower legs. Does anybody take any action? Does anybody attempt to stop anything that's going on? Or are you just sort of like waiting for a moment?
It just looks at Temerity like, what the heck? And then backs up and I don't know, uses other people as a shield.
I'll keep my dagger out, right, and kind of address what Oz is saying. He has been a member of our team, and I think if the roles were reversed, I'd be a little pissed
Peeved.
off right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's 5-ish of us right now and one of him, so I'm not super worried.
I'm gonna walk up and give him back his stuff.
I'm just gonna stand there with my hammer and shield in my hands.
Sure. You get your belongings back. You can
Wait.
see this small bandoliered satchel that has been cut from your person. It's mangled. This is clearly not something of your, like, you've been doing this long enough. You have managed to, like, leathercraft some of your own belongings. You know how to strip and cut leather. This was done crudely, quickly, not someone with skill or a deft hand. It was
Can it
hasty.
be repaired?
It could be repaired, yeah. It's gonna look a little choppy, but I mean, if you're handy with a needle and thread, you can make it work.
I see. Can I tell that he looks upset about the bag?
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell. It's dwarves, like all of their, you never see like a frowny face. Everything is red in their brows, right? It's that heavy, like almost Cro-Magnon forehead and brow where you read everything, and that's exactly where he carries his emotion. His brows like fall deep and he winces. There's a glower.
Okay. Yeah, I have a pretty high passive sense motive. Oz will say, I can fix that for you if you need.
I don't turn towards Oz.
You're not sure if it's still embarrassment, the accusations, or dwarven pride, but he remains silent for a moment longer.
And we just had to take it off of you to save your life, that's all.
Sir, stretching. What happened?
I told you what happened.
It's as he says, Master Torvin. You were attacked, but the wound on your back was at least not anything natural to what all of us are used to.
Like the stage.
Well,
Well,
the wound that was left, the clay-like wound that was left is what I guess drew concern, and then the possession thereafter.
Tripp, Oz, can I get a wisdom, a memory?
Sure. Just your flat wisdom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Natty
reroll that
one.
if you'd like to.
Nah.
Okay. Very
Perfect.
good. Tripp, you
I like
know...
the juxtaposedness
Yeah,
of
no
a
joke,
natty 1 and a natty 20.
Tripp, you know for certain, right, that all of these sturges that you've come across, they're feeding apparatus, right? This large piercing like device. It siphons blood. When you found the one on the back of Torvin, its entire siphon, like the proboscis was just absolutely filled to the brim with clay, like it had been plugged. And the quarrel that struck the face of the sturge managed to snap that. So you guys actually had to remove that from the body. It was separated from the creature. If you needed proof to offer to Torvin about what was in his body,
Yeah.
you've got it outside.
Remembering that, you see Pevrin's already, I guess, white eyes kind of go wide real quick. Master Torvin, wait here, please. And you see him go. Runs outside real quick, and he goes to
Well,
pick up
I'm not
the.
moving in a hurry, that's for sure.
When you make it outside, you find this appendage, this extension of the creature, and before, where it was filled with this almost malleable like clay, now it is completely hardened. It's turned to stone.
I would pick it up. Again, making sure there's nothing outside gazing upon us.
Sure. You
And,
notice that the texture before, where it was this almost bone-like feel to it, right? Where it was hard, so that it could create that straw-like siphon. Now, it's almost like it's flaking. Something is causing some sort of like pressure to it, and internally, it's petrified, and it's causing this to petrify all over.
He thinks to himself for a moment, not necessarily any coherent thought, but like seeing what had happened and taking that in consideration, runs back inside to show Torvin. Here, and he hands it to him. The creature, from the looks of it, was trying to siphon from you, and well,
Aye.
its tubing had gotten clogged.
With what?
Part of whatever you are, Master
Well,
Torvin.
aye.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah.
that weird clay. And I hold my hand up again.
I don't understand what's wrong. I
Have you had any issues before like this, where you might have received a cut and maybe it didn't bleed or bruise the way you expected it to?
Torvin, if you are attempting to hide anything, I would need a bluff from you.
I'm not hiding. Just you are concerned. You're worried about a dwarf with stone in his blood standing next to Temerity, who's now got bright fucking red eyes and a twitching tail, and that's fine. That's normal.
I mean,
But-
I've always had the tail.
A dwarf with
I mean,
I've been around dwarves all my life, and I've never seen a dwarf with flesh like that.
That's nice, human boy. I am a dwarf. It's not about you, and you think it is. You don't understand something, so you're gonna tie me down?
No, we tied you down because you were trying to murder us.
Well, see, no, that's fair. I'll give you that. Okay. The whole possessive thing, that's a little concerning, and I need to speak to somebody about that, because that shouldn't be happening.
Why not?
Well, it's a little complicated. But I don't. The whole God bothering thing doesn't seem to work too well with me. Can I put it that way? That's probably the best way of putting it, honestly.
I mean, I don't think it would go well for anybody.
Tripp leans in. It
Oh,
bothers
then-
me too.
So that doesn't. I walked the path of the clergy for a short period of time, and we didn't see eye to eye. It just didn't work. But
That's
look,
understandable.
I'm still. We need to get the hell out of here. Are they still alive? Are they all gone? I'm starting to
got
realize
away.
just where
No.
I am and what's around me.
I'm still alive, but they're not. And I'll motion over to the the two deados.
The two people here didn't make it, and one of the Sturges has gotten away.
Damnation. We'll have to tell the sheriff.
Of
Right
course.
chimes in at this point, and he kind of, in his way, yeah, I'm gonna go let the sheriff know. I'll be back.
Aye, thank you, sir.
I'll go and start moving the bodies out in front of the barn and laying them out peacefully on the ground and making sure their eyes are closed and everything. Ready to be picked up.
Sure. Rye's gonna be gone for a while. Not that it's gonna be like hours, but passing through and trying to get this convincingly enough to say that, oh, I stumbled upon the bodies of two teenagers engaged in a lover's tryst, and then they were siphoned by giant mosquito-like creatures known as Sturges. So it's not necessarily a hard sell, but well, you guys are sort of tied on to many things at this point. It's going to be at least a half an hour before you can get some sort of roused, engaged sheriff.
While Master Rye is taking care of that, what is the plan from here?
Well, I was on my way to Jaminda's. but I don't know if those Sturges are going to come back.
You say one got away.
Correct.
That we know of, yeah.
I do have some sort of idea, maybe, but I'm not sure if it would work. But perhaps there's some way we can protect ourselves from being possessed. It's happened to Rye, Torvin, Pevrin. Any one of us could be next.
All right.
Maybe we could replicate the runes in the boys' room and ward a set of armor or something of the sort, and to maybe shield ourselves from possession. I don't know what that would take, or if we could even get more than one, but it might help. I don't know who would be able to put the wards either.
Those wards, I mean, if you don't use power, they're just going to be graffiti. So, you really want to talk to a third god about things? I think you're already a little busy there.
I don't want to talk to any gods. I just thought that one of you might be able to provide some protection. I can't do the wards myself. I can only make the armor.
Oh, you are the ward.
That's not a spell I can do either. So that's a no from me.
No.
In all fairness, I wouldn't be here if I didn't, if I could control it. So I do apologize for the possession of.
Better you than the Piper, right?
This is what I was saying before.
Honestly, I would say yes, but given what I've been remembering, I don't even know if I'm safe anymore.
I don't think any of us are safe.
We'll need to get... Oh, my back! Ugh.
Oh, yes, we should probably get that taken care of.
It looked like it was already healing quite nicely when I looked at it earlier.
I've always been a fast healer, but... Oh!
I'm going to give my gut a peek. How's my wound look when he says that? Besides grody.
You were pretty well wrapped at this point. The reason that Rye had stopped sort of like plugging the wounds was because you had more or less bound that whole, like your armor's off, but your body is bound in linen fairly tightly. Like it's probably difficult for you to bend over entirely without feeling like the pressure of it sort of binding you.
Okay.
Well, then maybe if we can't protect ourselves from the possession, if nobody can copy the wards, then maybe our best course of action was what we were doing before the Sturges arrived, checking in with the alchemist, the apothecary, the church, and perhaps seeing if there's some better equipment that can aid us in venturing into Harrowstone.
I think we should move quickly too. They're already haunting us. I think we should move quickly.
Either of you can move quickly now to Temerity.
Well. There. Shut up.
So someone might want to carry my armor, or else. Actually, is what's salvageable from that? Like, I'm assuming like anything I like. My chest and back is just trash.
It's not trash. It will just need some mending. Like it.
Okay.
If you were to take it to a leather crafter, they could probably fix this over the course of a night. Especially if you were willing to expedite the process, probably just a couple of hours. It's not going to be free, but unless you have access to magics that can mend it back to its original state, it will still functionally operate as a somewhat damaged piece of armor. It's not like the straps were cut or anything like that. You just have some wear.
Okay.
So then the game plan. What do you guys think as a group? Do you wait?
I think that I probably need to rest before we go anywhere. I'm just a thought.
Yep. Got a hole in my back.
Yeah,
It's a
we
little
probably
difficult.
need a little. We just have a flesh wound. Fine.
I'm gonna
Oz
make
is
sure
gonna
the
still-
bodies are disposed of properly.
Oh,
Oz
yes,
is
please.
Still gonna go see Jaminda, but if he hears anything strange, he'll head back.
Okay. So Temerity, you know that you can put in requisitions at the church for aid, clerical aid, at 0 cost. Especially since you are in defense of the town, and not only are you aware of that, but the father is also very much aware of that as well. You pretty much have like a free roving existing notation that says like if you need help, they have to, like, it would be against the laws of the church to deny you medical and clerical service.
Okay.
So if you needed healed, you could do that.
Yeah, that is where I will go.
Yeah. Tripp will help take her armor and stuff. I don't know if she's gonna need assistance carrying it, but seeing as she's pierced through, he would probably find like a bag or a satchel inside the barn and take her armor.
Okay. Did you want to take Torvin? It sounds like Tripp's going, but did you want to take Torvin with you as well?
If he wants to come, I would offer. Absolutely.
Slowly shuffling around, packing things together, swearing under my breath.
He's kind of seems miffed at Eli, so which is no,
I step on Eli's toes as I walk past.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Eli's used to dwarf hatred, so it's fine. He just, bite his tongue.
Yeah, Eli's probably very, very well aware of what dwarven, what the bitter lifestyle of a dwarf can be if you fall on their bad side, even temporarily. So that checks out. Oz, what about you? You said you want to see to Jaminda.
Yeah, I think I'm still gonna go to Jaminda, but if I hear anything strange, I will make my way back to the rest of them.
Okay, and then Eli, you can position the bodies accordingly. If you wanted to see, I mean, if you wanted to wait, Rye can lead the sheriff back here. But if you wanted to seek Jorfa, that's something that you can do as well.
I do want to seek Jorfa, but I want to make sure we're not just like abandoning the bodies and they're actually being taken. Because I don't trust Rye that much.
Okay.
And so who knows if he's even talking to the sheriff? He could be like going and getting drunk for all I know.
That's fair. That's fair. I likely would. I'm not gonna roll for it. I'm just going to assume that the Manzas is just kind of following through. Just for the sake of maintaining his time in the town, it's easier if you lean to the air of honesty and truth. So, it'll be about a half hour or so before he arrives, which will give you an opportune time to sort of shake the area if you want to look for other details, or if you just want to position the bodies in a way that they can be easily removed. Your call.
I mean, if I'm just there with the bodies by myself, then I would look around to see if there's any information extra that I could gather that we might have missed, just because I'm just waiting around. So
okay. Curiously, did you end up giving Torvin his boot knife back?
That was I don't think that was me. I think Pevrin had that because he had ran his finger along the blade to check if it was dry or not.
And we found blood on it.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So we definitely know that your weapon was used to kill the girl, but I think it's the Piper that was taking your body.
I like how
I got 3
Tripp
daggers on me.
now has 3 daggers from different characters in the game. That's kind of nice.
It's just gonna collect in a gold piece.
If I can take a second, I think it's incredibly interesting that at least 2 of the characters up to this point were so against Pevrin's body being utilized by any means whatsoever. Like, they were like, we will quash this demonic spirit. It is gone. We will smite it from this earth. And now you're like, yeah, he's not so bad a guy. He's not so bad a guy.
When there's serial killer spirits running around, it's better to have someone helping us, assisting us in fights and pwning everything. And then
he's okay. Yeah. Give him 2 weapons.
I can't wait for the day that he turns on you all.
I think that we're
Yep.
dealing with things that are out of our scope, and he needs all the help he can get. And Tripp seems to be more adept at protecting him than we have, considering he just disappears or, whatever, whenever he feels like it. So it's like a greater, evil thing. It's like could be worse.
Sure. Okay.
I still don't like it, but I think it's helping. Right
I mean,
now.
only time will tell if I become worse or not.
Yes, that is accurate. Let's fingers crossed. Let's hope that that's not the case. That you're plotting everyone's demise. What a monster. Okay. All right, then we will shift this. I'm actually going to pass the camera view. The angle is going to turn to Oz. Oz, as you make your way through the town, and you find your way to an apothecary's, Jaminda's apothecary. What information?
On the way, I'm just like, Hecker, I don't know. This is such a strange town, and now we've got dwarves that are made out of clay. What's next? As I look at the door,
You're met with a smaller and fairly nondescript building. The windows seem to be shuttered up, the door heavy and darkened, and it seems to have what looks to be some sort of naturally burned imagery in it that just says Jaminda's. You know that this is an apothecary, and Jaminda Fallenbridge is working here she's worked here for a long time. Very, very long time. What do you know about Jaminda thus far?
well, I know that she doesn't really like people from what we can see. She does know a lot about potions, though. She was just kind of like a working man, so maybe she is a little androgynous on that front. But we don't really know a ton about her, other than she came to our aid and assisted us when Heverin was kind of fainting and we weren't sure what was happening, and we found out that she did know about people being conduits, which is an interesting thing.
How do you think she knew about those?
Not sure. Not sure.
Maybe this is an opportunity for you to discover. So, do you enter into Jaminda's apothecary?
Does it look like it's just a door should open, or should I knock?
Your call. I mean, most of the doors in the town aren't like glass windows, like flashing neon open signs, right? So you make the call. Are you formal? Do you knock? Do you?
I think Oz is gentleman. He knocks.
Okay. A few moments will pass before the door opens, just enough so for an eye to peer out.
Well, howdy, ma'am.
The door slowly pulls before you hear what sounds like something being moved from behind the door.
She's like buried. Good thing I didn't just open the door.
And she opens the door, inviting you in. Jaminda is I'm not really sure how to explain this. She's somewhere between 20 and 40 years old. She doesn't seem to have a lot of the signs of aging that you might specifically see in some people. She looks to be a human woman, as far as you can tell. Her skin is a little darker in tones, darker complected. Her hair is somewhere between like a honey wheat and a light brown. And she doesn't really greet you. She just opens and extending air for you to enter into this building.
Oz comes in. He kind of like tips his little wizard hat a little bit, and makes his way in. Hecker and Tote.
Okay. When you enter inside, she will pull the door closed, and she seems to put a board back up into some resting position. It is a means of like a locking mechanism, and you can tell she's very protected. Very, very, very well protected. The building does not seem to be as protected nearly as much as the door. For some reason, the hearth has a very practical amount of care, and you can tell that she lives alone. Deserted by nature, she is one of the few operating and standing individuals in the town that has an understanding of pharmacological provisions and study. This place is decorated with a vast and wild amount of herbs and alchemical reagents. Please, step in. I've done some research on the things that you had asked.
Well, nice house. I will gladly take a seat. Oz will make himself comfortable, takes his pecker and lets him get comfy too. And says, "Well, what kind of information did you find?"
Well, you do have a variety of potions. I want to say potions here, and admittedly, they are a bit rarer for the region. I think some are more common than not, but these, and she has a smaller vial. This is what you have the largest amount of. There, you at this point now have 5. These are 5 green-like potions that seem to swirl. This is a healing, what you might find from the church.
Huh. Well,
I've noticed that.
that's at least an easy one.
Yes, when they grow darker, a bit more viscous or thicker, that's when they have a bit more direct potence. This is still, and she kind of holds it up with just like a little bit of light, like candlelight. If you can see through it, then you can tell that it's not nearly as potent. This is on the lower spectrum, as far as I can tell. Something that won't shake off a long or arduous fight, but something that will immediately remove some of the most subtle wounds. The others were a bit harder for me to identify. A bit rarer as well. And she draws up a particular, like, almost clear... It's an opaque potion in a bottle. And she said, I unfortunately had to sample this. And... well, it's only something you can get at the church. Or if you're familiar with druidic magic, not something that's too common here. This is something that would remove sickness. It would remove poison. Not like how one might remove poison from a person, but it has restorative properties. It could take the burn from a fresh wound. It could naturally siphon the poison away from a bite. Toxicity from anything
that would have
ingested.
been handy earlier.
These are quite a bit more expensive, and, well, you're lucky to have these, if I'm being honest.
How many of the clear ones do we have?
There are, well, she only took one of each, right? So you have
Yeah.
one more of those.
And two
And
of
so
those.
that's 2. And those are lesser restorations.
Okay.
And did you have other potions? I don't actually know if you had other potions or not.
We had 6 flasks with fluid, 5 potion bottles that were with a red elixir, 2 potion bottles with a creamy white elixir, and 4 scrolls.
Okay, so your flasks, she passes this flask back across the table. Simple. It's water, but given the sigils, my guess is it's holy water. The scrolls, you said you gave her 4 scrolls? 3?
There's 4 scrolls, yeah.
Okay, then she tells to you, from my studies, passing 1, this is a scroll of protection from evil. 2 more slide across the table. These are matching, and from my best understanding, they're scrolls of hide from undead.
That's probably what.
Oh.
So there's 3 of those?
And the last scroll,
Oh.
she says, detect undead.
All right. Well, this is mighty helpful, ma'am.
Small fees. Something that I'm sure that won't be too much of an issue for you. It does come at a cost. If I would... For the professor, I'll whittle this down to about 30 silvers.
All right. Let me see what I got. And he'll mess around with some pouches and take out 30 silver.
Okay. Yeah, you do.
Trying
I
to
mean,
figure out where my...
everybody had access to funds, right? You had traveling funds in order to get to this point. So...
Oh yeah, I definitely have 30.
So you're able to maneuver over 30 silver with ease. And she'll take them. She seems to gather them into a pouch, and she slides them under. You didn't just come here for potions, though, for mere identification. No. Well, folks very rarely do.
Well, you're right. I have wondered.
Oh, did our cameras change?
Yeah, probably.
Our cameras did change. Okay.
I am so sorry.
It's all right. Let me fix those, guys. Let me fix those.
Sure.
All right. Give me just a moment.
Hey, I'm late and I fucked up your cameras. Isn't it great?
You're getting the sheriff to come get the bodies last time we
Tripp.
possessed you.
And those two should change. We
Hey,
should be
so
good.
does anyone want to
Hey.
see my pecker?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Damn it! You moved me. Now I have a hole in my gut again.
You unfortunately you do. You do. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Welcome in. Yeah, I just got your messages. So
Yeah, Wyld dodged a bunch of questions, and
He did.
He
didn't answer a
said,
freaking one. I wrote in my notes, just so you know, Wyld. I wrote, interrogated Torvin, nothing useful.
he
That's what I
proclaimed that
wrote
it was
next to it.
normal for dwarves to have stone in their blood, which we know is not.
No.
And that he might have made a god mad at some point, and that's what he was gonna leave it at.
yeah, this is fine. This is fine. Rye, you went off to fetch the sheriff. I had you remove yourself from the situation so they could talk, and that you could get Sheriff Benjamin Kaler to return to collect with the coroner the bodies.
Of the people that were killed by the
Sturgis. Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So it's currently it's an Oz and Jaminda moment where Oz, right before I realized the cameras were a little jacked. Oz, we're gonna continue with that scene. What is it that you were saying?
Yeah. Well, I do have a mighty lot of questions for you. And now that I've been in your home, well, I even have more, but those will probably have to wait till later. You seem to know an awful lot about, well, the situation that we were having the other day with conduits.
I might know some things.
I might know some things, but well, I'll be honest, this town has some strange stuff going down. And well, Professor L, he wants us to investigate it. Not that he'd talk to us after he died or anything like that, but it seems that's what his last will was for us.
And you wish to follow through with the wishes of a dead man.
I mean, sounds silly now that you say it like that, but Professor L meant a lot to me. I mean, I wouldn't be where I am without his support.
He meant a lot to a lot of people.
Did you know him well? I mean, you were one of the very small amount of people I saw at his funeral.
I knew him well enough. Well enough. Not as well as I would have liked. He was a kind man. And
I agree.
so few people are.
So true. Every time I talk to people, well, I get mighty weird looks.
Why are you so curious about what I know?
Well, maybe what you know will help me figure out what's going on around here.
I'll be honest, I know a lot of things. But I'm not capable of speaking to as many people as I'd like.
Well, maybe I can do the speaking for you if you don't mind giving me some of that knowledge of yours.
Well, if you ask the right questions, then I suppose I can drum forth a solid answer, or at least the best that I could. release.
All right. What makes someone a conduit?
Give me a sense motive.
All right. $16.
It's really good actually. You watch her for a while. She seems to fidget. Her hands move very close. You've said conduit now a few times, and this time you can actually hear, you can see the gears turning in her head as she kind of glances down at the working station that she's at. I know that Pevrin's mother was a conduit. I know that there's a high chance of Pevrin being a conduit. I know that the spirits might find their way to them. Well, to him. I'm not sure of the limitations.
Well, how did you come across this information?
I was overhearing during the birth of Pevrin. I had overheard what his mother was saying, and I did some research. Oz, you know that she answered way too quickly. Where before she didn't thought about everything that she had to say this time. There was no air to her response. It was fast. You think she might be withholding some information? At least that's what you've gathered.
You were at his birth?
I delivered Pevrin.
Oh. And what did your research show?
Just that they possess properties.
Oh, come on. You clearly know something more.
Give me a perception.
Nine. I'm going to reroll.
Okay.
It could get worse. We'll see. 20.
Oof. Even or odd in your favor.
Thank you, rerolls. I appreciate it.
Even or odd in your favor.
I had to get a 20 just to match it.
This is
Dang,
hiding.
son.
It's very, very well hidden.
Ooh, we'll say odds, because I'm an oddball.
Okay. Would you like a reroll?
All right, we'll do one.
Okay.
It worked first time. Maybe
Even or odd?
we'll keep going with the odds, man.
Okay. Of course, roll 20 is just it's having a moment.
We had 4 rerolls, right?
Yes, we do have 4 rerolls.
We're
We're
gonna
one way.
need that 5th reroll, homie.
Yeah, well, probably. We'll find out.
At this rate.
Odd it is.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Thank you for the rerolls.
Well, she stresses. You can tell. She brings her hand up to her face and she starts to kind of like wipe her brow and just she's starting to feel. She's starting to feel that pressure. And she kind of like runs her fingers through her hair.
I don't mean to make you nervous, man.
The back of her head.
I'm just trying to help people.
And when you're saying that, like when she runs her fingers through her hair, you actually note she pushes back her bangs and there are scars that run the top of her crown across her forehead. And when she runs her fingers through her hair, you can see that there are scars all over her head.
Does it look like it's in the shape of a crown that I might have seen before?
Not particularly that. This
Okay.
looks like it is a form of branding.
Oh. What happened to your head?
What do you mean? She kind
a
of like
little.
touches her face.
On top of your head over here, you got a little bit of a scar.
Oz, give me a knowledge geography.
Not my greatest strong suit, but I got an 18.
Oh, well done. Well done. I set the DC at 16 for this. Regions are known for enslaving people, even their own people, right? And turning them, like, giving them specified jobs. This is the marking and the slavery markings of like of someone from Ossyria. You recognize some of the more prolific like branding design to it.
The marking on your head. I've seen that before. From Ossyria?
She fidgets even harder now. You can tell.
Is that why you don't talk to other people much? Is someone looking for you?
Her eyes kind of wander for a moment. You're not from around here either.
No. Pecker and I come from quite a ways away. We just came to visit. For Professor L, of course. Wasn't planning on staying this long. I actually had a plan to go pick up these eggs from this other place because Daisy really likes them. But, oh, you probably don't care about any of that, though.
Would you trust me?
I mean, I don't know you that well, so I'm gonna be real honest with you, ma'am. I'll trust you enough, but if you break my trust, well, it's mighty hard to bring it back.
I have a secret that I've not told anyone since I've been here. And I want to tell someone.
I got a secret too, but I only told one person. Head chef Earl.
Would you share a drink with me?
Promise he ain't got anything strange in it?
I promise it's only strange.
All right, then.
She moves to a bookshelf where there is a variety of texts, right? And she pulls forth this book. And when she opens it up, there are a series of vials that seem to have a variety of liquids in them. And two of them she finds, they look like they're matching. I'll need to prick your finger.
Well, this is getting kind of suspicious here now.
I will do the same. And with a quill-like device, she pricks her finger and she puts a single drop of blood into one of the vials, and she shakes it intensely. So.
All right. I mean, I fought some sturges today. Why not? He offers his hand.
Okay. And she very, very gingerly pricks the end of your fingertip and just drips a single splash of your blood, small drip. And then she shakes the vial up. And keeping yours in her hand, she passes hers to you. She takes yours back and drinks it immediately. And then she waits for you.
Oh, you want me to drink your blood? Are you a vampire?
No, heavens, no.
Just I've read about them a bit.
No.
Is this some kind of weird blood bond? Like
something like it, yes.
Oz shakes his head. He looks at Pecker and he's like, I guess we're doing this. And chugs it.
Okay. You snap down. It's not even a mouthful's worth of fluid, but you take it down. And you do get the sense there's like a small snap to it, right? It's something more than what you were expecting, doesn't do anything to your body. But the moment that you finish and you place the vial down, she opens her mouth, showing you her mouth that it's not there, and she waits for you to do the same.
Well, never had anybody really want to look into my mouth like that, but all right.
Please.
He opens his mouth and shows his tongue, and you can see his little jagged, creepy teeth out of his giant mouth.
Okay. And she notices the meeting. She says, thank you. I can only keep your secret with me now, and I will not be able to tell anyone. And you will not be able to tell anyone my secret.
Well, all right. This will be interesting.
Would you like to go first? I did ask you. I can tell you mine if it would make you feel better.
I think that might be nice.
I understand. You notice that she's speaking in very hushed tones, and she's very, very careful. Her eyes wander very intensely so. I broke away from a mission. I was assigned to find Peverin's mother. She fled our capital, and I was a slave at the quarters. It was my job to bring her back, and I decided not to. I couldn't. She'd only been here for so long, but she had found happiness. And I'd never seen her smile. I was only under the employ of the Soul family for... I must be 10 years. I was sold to Nadal. And now I stay to watch her child grow.
Well, that's some heavy baggage there. I'm sorry you had to deal with that.
Not even Zokar knows.
You told Zokar?
No, not even Zokar knows.
Oh. Probably best Zokar doesn't know. But if you find the courage, he might be a good companion for you to... Well... I know he cares about Peverin. Probably just as much as you do, if not more, being his son-in-law.
I don't know if I can ever tell him. I don't know if I have the power to, but I can never tell your secret, and now you can never tell mine. You can try, but the
There
words
might
will
be
never muster.
more people here that be able to help you than you think.
Maybe so, but people are changing. The hostilities in the town have grown. Just the past few weeks alone, they've become mean where they were docile and...
I have some theories on that front. But you might think I'm a little crazy.
Yours. Tell me yours. What is your...
Well, mine is not as, well, hearty as yours, I would say.
It's...
Do I have to?
If you do not tell me your secret for me to keep, your teeth will rot from your mouth.
Oh. He like holds up his hand to his mouth. I don't want my teeth to rot, so well, I've only told one other person about this. I'm in love with Billy Joe Breyer. My heart melts every time I'm around. Whenever he comes over to the shop and he's asking for his loaves of meat and bread, and I run back into the kitchen.
Billy Joe Breyer.
Yeah.
Is that... He's not like you then, is he? I don't...
Well,
forgive me, I don't know what you are.
I'm a hobgoblin.
Is he a hobgoblin too?
No. I think he's like some kind of human, half elf thing.
Do you not tell anyone because he is a human, half human thing?
No. Mostly don't tell anyone because people might laugh at me. You know, people don't want to be my friend, let alone be my romantic interest. He's a dairy farmer where I'm from. And he brings us the eggs and the milk. Sometimes the meat.
Can I know something? The one that you walk with,
Well,
who has
which
no
one?
he has no weapons. Is he from the doll?
She referring to Rye?
Yes.
I mean, that's not my secret to tell.
He sounds familiar. And if he's from the doll, there's a chance that he might have come to take either Pevrin back or to kill me.
Well, I don't think he's here for that. For either of those things. But I could ask.
No, please don't.
All right, then. I don't think he's here for Pevrin, if that aids your heart at all.
It's good. Maybe he has escaped then? Do you think that he... No, nobody makes it out of Nidal alive.
Maybe you and him should talk. I could set you a meeting. Or if you don't mind leaving this place for a little bit, you can come with me. I'm meeting up with them after this ending.
No, and you can see she's growing incredibly nervous, right? Like the arms crossed at this point, and she's kind of stepped from behind her operating station. Unless there is anything else that you need, you should probably leave.
I understand. I was just kind of interested in if you knew anything else about Professor Ale. Seems like there's some interesting things happening in this town.
I could probably speak at length about him, but only from what I know of him.
Do you know what he was studying?
Mr. Lorimore, the professor, he studied everything. He knew...
In the
He knew
recent
about everything.
weeks or months, did he ask you anything in particular, or talk to you about any certain types of potions?
No, recently he's become very, well, before he passed, he'd become very recluse. He stayed to himself. He would frequently come out and visit. He retired from the university and, well, I don't know what had happened.
All right, then. He stands up and puts Pecker in the bucket. If you think of anything else that might be helpful, you know where to find me. You can leave a letter there, too, if you need to. And if you change your mind on meeting with Rye, well, I'd be happy to help. And I still owe you something, so if there's someone you need me to talk to, let me know.
She just kind of quaintly nods. Thank you. I'm better now than I have been in a long time. But you've not managed to abate my fears. And I will think about speaking with this man you call Rye. I just don't know. And
well, he's become one of my good friends, I would say. And I don't have many of those. Probably count. Well, he puts his hand up. He has 2 fingers up, but then he realizes one of them is no longer with us. Or he has 3 fingers up, but then he realizes one is not there, and he's like, well, he's not here anymore, so. Or no, he has 4. And then he puts one down, he's like, he's not here. Well, I guess I really only have 3.
As I said, I'll think on it. I have some
and
things.
If you want to talk about that other stuff more, it's always nice to have somebody to talk to. So I'm here if you need me.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Blood pact and all. That's something I never thought I'd say.
At least it wasn't forceful.
And no one had to be sacrificed. I've heard about these sacrifices with chickens and lambs and goats, and I'm sorry, Pecker.
The sacrifices rarely appease any gods, unless they are a god of death. From what I've read, sacrifices are often a waste. They would much rather devout loyalty.
Look, I'm just saying what they've been telling in tales, you know?
And tales will be told. And hopefully not many more of Nadal.
Hopefully not.
She moves over to the door and she sort of lifts the arm bar. Please.
All right. He waddles his way out of there.
You find your way back out into the windy early afternoon. The camera will turn. As it pans at this point, we're going to move over specifically to Cobalt. Cobalt, you've been spending some time now sort of peering over the area, taking in what it is that you can. You're alone. You have 2 dead bodies, a small fire inside of a barn, and you're surrounded by corn. What do you do?
Probably look around the barn, check the corners, make sure there's no sturges still nesting that we may have missed, tucked away in any unseen area. Maybe see if there's any items that the 2 people may have dropped that we missed that could give us any more information, and make sure the fire doesn't burn the barn down as well, because Rye had to have that fire, which I'll slowly just like let that dwindle down. We don't need that anymore, and make sure the barn doesn't catch on fire. And yeah, just waiting for the sheriff and Rye to get back so that I can head towards the forge and see if I can get anything useful out of that.
Sure, give me a perception or so. And as you're sort of like doing these more mundane tasks, making sure that the fire doesn't kind of spiral out, gathering the bodies, looking things over, nothing really leaps out at you. Your best guess, based on the details of the individuals, they're roughly the same age, man and a woman, and from all visual cues, they were probably meeting up for Hanky Panky, friend.
I just don't understand why they would be targeted. Just a display of power, or for fun, or is there any purpose at all? I don't know. He'll say to himself.
You overhear just behind you in some of the corn. It seems as if it's starting to sort of like stiffen. Either it's blowing into the breeze or people are moving through it. When you overhear the depth of the voice of Rye as he's explaining, it's just right over here. before you break in, and you can see right where you're standing. It looks like both of the bodies have been moved to the front of the barn, and the sheriff in tow, probably 4 or 5 feet behind you. You point. He sees this scene. It's a lot less grisly than not. There is some blood involved. What's most grisly is the man. The man is almost entirely devoid of liquid in his body. Like a squeezed Capri Sun. Nothing much left of him.
Ladies will do that to you. There's the Sturges afterwards, right?
Benjamin just looks over at you like, what the fuck?
I'm joking. It wasn't the Sturges that did that to him.
Oh,
it was
damn.
like that when they found him, when the Sturges found him. I just kind of gesture. Where's Eli? Do I see Eli right now?
You
Yeah,
can
I'm
see
just
some
standing there.
some of the movement. He sort of breaks way into the open doors, and you can see he's standing as stoic as ever. It looks as if he still has not quite dropped his shield. Maybe I don't know. Would you have put your weapon and shield away, or what? What's this look like?
Yeah, no, I'd put my shield on my back because I like when I'm not focused on combat, I like having that protection on my back, just so in case something tries to hit me there.
Yeah.
And it's over my belongings as well, and I'll just have my hammer at my side as well.
Got it.
So yeah, still trying to getting the fire put out. Once I heard the commotion, the little bit of movement, go out to meet him.
I'm just gonna kind of like you said, like point to the bodies and just kind of guide him over to Eli. Eli has a much better wit than Rye, so probably allow them to talk. I would actually like to investigate kind of the surrounding area, see if there's any like tracks going to and from the barn that we may have missed in the cornfield, stuff like that. Unless like you want me there for the conversation.
Sort of your call here. You were there for most everything, so you're witness to it. The only thing that you didn't really get much of an avid answer from was why Torvin had clay on the internals of his person. There is still a body. There are multiple bodies at this point of the Sturges, right? One of which the proboscis is completely removed as you break out of the cornfield and you sort of point down. There that is.
How does he react to that? How's the sheriff reacting to any of this?
There's some surprise, but you're not really sure if he's not all aghast, right? He's like, no, it's nothing like that. He's just like like it's tightened brow, and he's sort of trying to take in as much detail as possible. He's trying to make sure that your accounts can match up to what's happened here.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
yeah, we heard that was really quick, Rye. Getting back, I'm impressed. We found them like this. Well, one of them. We heard the Sturges, kind of hard to miss the sound of those things, and we followed them best we could. I mean, we heard screaming in the barn. We tried to rush here as fast as we could, but it was too late for him. And when the fight was over, she had been killed as well.
So I can see the Sturges, but why didn't she like him? What happened to her?
She ran into me, and to try and protect her from the Sturges in the barn, I put her outside the barn and slammed the doors, and then we initiated combat with the creatures, and we did our best to kill them. And when we were done and left the barn, we found her with her throat slit just like that, and I'm not sure what happened. I figured you're the law here, and I figured you will be doing the investigating, and maybe you could tell us what happened.
Well, I mean, you were technically the last to see her alive.
I shut the barn door to deal with the creatures, and when I came out, she was against the wall. Oz was the first to find her. Maybe he can be of more assistance.
Where's the rest of your group at?
Oh, we were on our way splitting up to go to different places when we all heard the Sturges and we came together to try to do our best to protect anyone that may have been around, any targets for them. And I mean, I'm not the quickest with all of my gear and whatnot, but those who were faster, Rye was one of the first people to get here. And we just, I heard the scream and it was just too late. He was already completely devoid of blood by the time we were in there. There was nothing I could do to save him. Well, Temerity barely made it out with her life.
Well, where's she at?
I think she said something about going to the church, something about they heal her for free. They take care of her needs. Some pharasma thing, I suppose.
All right, so let's assume that I have a lot of familiarity with these creatures. And that guy was slain by these creatures. I'm guessing they fed on him.
Well, take a look for yourself. What do you think?
That's why I said I'm guessing. But that doesn't explain her. Doesn't seem to be a drop of blood left on him, but she has blood running down the front of her dress. Kind of like lifts the chin slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a cut.
Mm.
Any idea what happened there?
I was not witness to it. I do feel somewhat responsible for not keeping her near me, but in my haste, I thought the best course of action to protect her would be put her outside of the barn, remove her from the conflict. And apparently that wasn't good enough. Something got her while she was out here. I'm not sure what it was.
Give me a bluff.
Shit. You know?
That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's see.
I'm not lying. I'm just excluding Torvin from my story because and it's his job to figure it out.
Lying by omission.
I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
I hear you can do that to the cops in real life. It's fine.
All right, so who else was here?
Everyone was here. We had Torvin, Temerity, Oz, Rye, Pevrin was here, but he was it wasn't Pevrin. He was possessed. He's a strange boy, that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Rye's just like watching this all unfold.
All right, so
sorry, Torvin, you might have to go down.
Which
Oh.
Did everybody have access to a knife or a
all of us
dagger?
have some sort of sharp weapon.
Well, I didn't.
All right. So
right.
Let's play a curious game. You don't strike me as the type to cut a woman's throat. Look a little green around the edges. Rough on the hands. You work around a forge. You work on a farm.
That. Forge.
You don't have any weapons as far as I can tell. But you're covered in cuts. Your armor's dirty as hell. You strike me as a fighting type. But you fight with your hands. You don't really strike me as someone to fight with a knife. Unless absolutely necessary. Except Pevrin was here. That's a good boy. I don't really know what he would be doing here with a knife. Unless someone gave him knives. Even then, I don't think he has the capacity to kill someone.
You'd be surprised what I've seen that boy do.
Who would give a 11-year-old a knife?
That would leave your goblin friend. That would leave the woman you called Temerity.
Oz is my best friend. Don't you say a fucking thing about him. He is my best buddy. No, I'm just kidding. I just feel like
Torvin,
And that leaves the dwarven guy.
yeah, Torvin was unconscious outside. He had a scourge directly embedded in his back, and I think Oz just narrowly killed it before it could do any more damage. And believe me, we tried to ask him about it, but he just doesn't seem to remember anything.
And nobody else was here.
Just the two and our group, plus the boy.
So
Look, I have a respect for the law. I know
all right
your
then.
importance here. When we're gone, you are the only thing protecting these people, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. How old are you, kid? Like 26, 27?
I just turned 30.
30. Okay. I grew up in a little place called Caliphus.
That's where I am from.
Hey, look at that. Cut from the same cloth. You familiar with Brookenboro Ridge? The poorer side. They don't really have a lot over there.
Of course, mostly the streets.
Yeah.
And how filthy they are.
Yeah. Rats. Everywhere. There's so goddamn many of them.
Shutters.
I was taught
Reply to that.
the difference between right and wrong by this older woman. She took me in when I didn't have anybody else. And if there's one thing that she was good at, she taught me about people that talk too much. They got something to hide. And you were talking a lot. So I'm
Just trying to
instead,
be informative.
I'm going to ask you. Because I think you're going to lie to me right away as opposed to talk circles around me. Do you know who killed this woman?
I have no idea who killed this woman, though I do know Eli was with her last. That's all I know. The fight was impossibly chaotic, though, in his defense.
I was there in the barn with you.
I saw you come in to the barn, and I didn't see her. And you said you'd protect her. That's the
I
truth.
did nothing of the sort. I tried to protect her just by putting her down and closing the door. If you're insinuating that I slit her throat, that is just ludicrous.
And that's the first bit of truth I think I may have heard from you. So I'll ask you instead. Do you have any idea who killed this woman?
Is he talking to me still?
No, he's looking at Eli.
Okay.
I can't prove anything, but the dwarf was unconscious and out here alone with her. I dropped her thinking he would be able to protect her, but there was something that wasn't right with him either. He sat up and started talking to us when we pulled him inside the barn, and it's like it wasn't him.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like that before.
Well, no matter what's said, it's not going to bring these people back. And it looks like he died from an attack from those creatures.
What kind of fool would murder someone and then stay here and wait to talk to the authorities?
The kind that aren't from around here, that have something to hide. Kind that are probably weirdos. Not so common to this place. It takes all
So
kinds.
anyone from our group.
I mean, I suppose you're the last person to see her alive, yet here she is dead. A knife's clearly been drug across her throat. And you're not sure. The only thing you're sure is that you didn't do it.
I have more honor and pride than to murder an innocent woman that I don't even know. I'm insulted by the fact that I would even ever be accused of that. And if anyone knows that I didn't do it, it would be Rye.
Look, kid, I don't know you from anyone else. I don't know what any of those symbols or sigils mean on your armor. I don't know exactly how you were raised, though it might seem like we come from the same place. I saw that shutter. I saw what ran up your back when I said those rats. I know the people from Caliphus aren't inherently bad. Inherently. But people change. And I don't really have time right now to deal with excuses or insults or insinuations. What matters is there's a dead girl here, and your feelings are hurt. So forgive me if I can honestly say fuck your feelings, because your feelings aren't going to bring her back to life.
You're right, my feelings aren't going to bring her back to life, and also trying to accuse me wasting time when someone else clearly...
Is it that clear? It's not that clear to me.
Well, look, you can talk to the rest of my group, but I've given you all of the information. I'm going to be the one that probably gives you the most information out of everybody. So you can condemn me if you want, but
hey, I'm not condemning
I'm on
you.
your side.
I'm just asking questions. The truth is, like I said, there's a dead girl. And it's bizarre that you're going to let your feelings get hurt right now.
Speaking of, who were they? Who is she? Who is he?
Farmers' kids. I've seen them come through town. And one of the outlying, this is probably one of their hookup spots. They've got a few spots in town. For some of them, they seem to gather around the memorial. But occasionally, we've had to break up some things that have happened out here in the old storage barns.
Before we start jumping to accusations or conclusions, have you seen anyone else like the boy?
No. Look, I was told before I came out here that in some of the lowland woods there is a sturge problem, but they don't come up this way. Something about this place, something about the dead shakes of wildlife. That's why there's not so many of them out here. And it's not really like I'd consider that wildlife. When I think of wildlife, I think like coyotes and foxes. And that's a big damn bug. So what would draw him here is beyond me. Food, I'm guessing. Food source.
No livestock with the same treatment?
We have cattle. Yeah, at least they have cattle elsewhere on other farms, but those are a bit more north. The lowland woods where these suckers are from are just a few miles off. It's fairly uncommon for that. Honestly, we haven't had an attack from a sturge. Well, since I've been here. And I've not been here long. I've only been here a few years. Well, several years. I think I'm going on 6 years. But I've not heard anything like this. There's nothing on report as far as I can tell.
And what about the dead in the town square? Is that a normal occurrence?
So when you say the town square,
I mean like the
memorial.
Yeah, the memorial. That's still fresh, right? Like that just happened.
We didn't find a body.
There was no body
right?
for that.
There's no body. Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry. Blood.
Blood.
You know.
And that's also really uncommon. But like we last talked, when we were walking back from the memorial, things have been off. People have been off. They've been weird. There've been more things. More families are fighting. There have been more farmers that are bickering, disputes and debacles where they're literally fist fighting over land. It doesn't matter. They're sharing crops anyway.
What does it mean to you if I were to say the word Nadal? And I kind of look around a little bit. It's just the three of us, right? As far as we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a place, right? What do they say about Nadal? It's the longest standing place since the history of man or something like that. I don't know. Never been to the place. I have no interest or history in the dead. All I know is that none of us make it out of this ratty-ass life. So we're all guaranteed to die anyway, right? They unfortunately got there sooner than I did. Now it's my job to figure out who did it. And his, points to the boy, is quite a bit more clear. Hers, not so much.
I understand. I look at Eli and I look back at the sheriff and I continue. There may be a reason for your hesitancy to believe us. Because we're not sure ourselves on what we saw. Because it seems impossible. But I assure you it's not. Taking into account the events around town, the uncommon events, by your words, I understand that there is some confusion about the girl. However, can we trust you to tell the truth? Would you believe an outlandish notion?
I'm willing to entertain most anything at this point. That being said, before you go any further, because I know you have nothing to gain and quite a bit to lose, if I feel like I'm getting worked around, if I'm being lied to, if your honor means so much to you, because I know that you're all staying over there with Kendra at the Lorimore house, if you decide to vacate and flee overnight, I know Kendra's not, and I will hold her personally responsible for this girl's death, even if she wasn't here.
I have no honor. He may, but I don't, and I have no reason to lie.
Yeah, doesn't really strike me the kind of person, though, that's just going to take advantage of a woman just because. I could be wrong. Way off base, but that's where I'm landing on it. So.
I don't. Are you talking about Eli?
Talking about you.
Oh, talking about me.
And
okay.
Kendra. He's basically insinuating that you don't seem like the kind of person that's just going to use and abuse the kindness that Kendra's offering. I could be wrong, but that's where I'm at this moment. But like I said, I'm here to entertain ideas. So, what is this truth? This universal truth that you think is going to boggle my mind?
I've been honest with you since we got here. I included you in the investigation. Yesterday, day before?
Yeah.
Yesterday. And I'm going to continue to. Our friend was possessed. We've spoken about this before, I believe, whether you believed it or not.
Okay, yeah, you were talking about Pevrin, right? Pevrin was he was possessed. You said he was some wild animal, right? Like he was gonna kill me or something.
I understand your hesitancy. However, it is the truth. There are spirits from your old prison that are causing mischief in the town. And I believe the girl's life falls on their hands. One of them in particular. Have you ever heard of the Lopper? It was the Lopper, right? Lopper?
So one of them.
It's the Piper.
Piper, excuse me.
Piper, the Lopper, the Strangler.
Yeah, the Lopper was the one that possessed
Yeah, as
you.
soon as I said it, I was like, nope, that's not right. Piper.
Yeah, I think when I sometime around when I moved out here and I took up this operating position, I remember hearing about some of the folklore and talk about ghosts and spookies and boogeyman, right? And I remember hearing or seeing or something, there's something about a guy called the Piper. But I don't know I really know him well enough. Why?
We don't know him that well either. But it seemed he managed to infiltrate the body of our friend. He laughed at us. He played music. He controlled the Sturges.
All right. So, Harrowstone burned down over 50 years ago. Why now?
I was hoping maybe you could shed some light on that. Perhaps Petros was protecting the town, and in his death, the wards ceased. I don't know. I don't dabble in magic. It confuses me.
Petros was a lot of things. All right, he was a lot of things, and well learned was something that I could say. I could put that on his tombstone, but he was only a dabbler. There was no actual practicing, you'd have to speak to Gorovin. He works over at the Unfurling Scroll. They had met a couple of times and they worked, and I had to do my research. He doesn't know yet, but I know that he used to be a pretty high up wizard. He's got some talents, but now he's hiding. He's in his own retirement. He doesn't like it well known, but while I may lack some of the more fiery abilities that some spellcasters might, my nose knows and my stomach leads me to perpetrators, if you will. I can pick up on trails. But Gorovin's pretty clean. Yeah, I've passed by his building a couple of times, and I think that he smokes a little more something special than he probably should. But he's pretty clean for an old man. And he's kind of hard-ass. He can get a little intense with those kids, but man, I've been told when you're honing the skills of those that can channel the spells, the arcane or whatever the hell it's called, you gotta be kind of ferocious.
Then perhaps he understands what's going on here better than us.
Might be worth talking to him.
I nod.
But you said something about the Piper and your friend. And your friend was possessed. And I'm guessing you brought this up because it has something to do with her. And he points down to the girl. Unless I'm reaching.
Rye nods.
Like we said, we found him unconscious outside with her body against the barn door. And he doesn't remember anything when he finally came to, conveniently.
How'd you come to that conclusion that he did it, even if he was possessed?
Oh, I didn't say he did it.
Okay.
My dwarven friend was face down in the field with a sturgeon in his back. Curious what he calls insides, but other than that, he seemed incapacitated. I couldn't tell you what happened to the girl. I do know, however, that if someone was going to harm her, it was likely that entity. I know, sounds crazy, but with the events happening, I would implore you to keep an open mind. This young pup, and I look over at Eli. He doesn't understand the world, man. He doesn't get it.
Apparently you don't, considering you're trying to pin a murder I didn't do on me.
I didn't pin anything on you. I stated the
you
facts.
just insinuated it.
It's all right. I don't think you did it anyway. Not that I don't think that you've got the fortitude to do so. I think you're right. By having something to stand for. I know what it's like to toss something eagerly and way too quickly away. I got in trouble doing some of the same shit myself, and people got hurt. But I cleaned up. And if you stand for something now, I suppose it's better that you cleaned up in your own way. If that's exactly what happened. But it looks
It's
like you
my
got
fault.
something to lose.
I was trying to think fast, and I was relying on other people I didn't know well enough. I should have kept her by my side, but I couldn't guarantee that I could keep those sturges off of her. I thought she was better outside with them contained in the barn.
All I can do is hold your story accountable for what it is and the truth. But the one thing that we can all agree on is that a sturge didn't do that to her. And we'll figure it out.
Nods.
We can figure it out. But for now, I need to find where the rest of your comrades had gone off to.
Who do you want to speak to first?
I'm going to go to Kendra's, because I know that you're all going to make your asses back there, eventually. You're not just going to leave her high and dry. And I'm going to get the coroner out here to take these bodies. And start drawing up...
Please. It's important they get a proper burial. We don't need anything coming back or springing up from, improper burials.
I understand. We have the Restlands for a reason.
That's why I stayed here personally and waited to make sure that it was taken care of.
Well, I'm going to get the coroner. Neither of you are obligated to stay here.
We'll see you at Kendra's.
I'm going to walk out with the sheriff if I can. Or, walk towards the cornfield.
Okay.
Kind of out of Eli's earshot if possible.
Okay. You break through the cornfield. You probably get 10 or so feet in. He stops. You got something you want to say to me?
He's susceptible to naive heroics. He's young. He still thinks he can save the world. He makes snap decisions. But he didn't hurt that girl. I think you know that.
No, I believe you're right. I don't think that he did. And to be totally honest, if we all didn't think that we could save the girl or the world, would any of us be doing any of the things that we're doing right now? It's not about money. It's not about accolades. I'm not getting paid a lot to do this. But at some point, you just get tired of watching other people get hurt. That's the only reason why I'm doing it. Because I may not be the smartest, may not be the brightest. I'm not dumb, though. And I know when someone's guilty of something, and I know that neither of you are guilty of hurting that girl. But I'll figure out who did it. Even if I gotta bend you over a barrel. Get everybody to admit to something.
We're different men, but I can respect your path. Whatever you need from us, just let us know.
He nods, and then he continues to break through the corn.
Cool.
Okay. Do you have any conversation with Eli, or do you continue on your own path through the corn similarly? This is the first time that you two,
Eli.
this is the first time that you two have been together alone. So this could be interesting.
I walk back to Eli. Where's he at? What are you doing?
I'm standing by the barn, trying not to wear a grimace on my face, but I'm waiting for you because I want to know what your plans are. I know what everybody else is at least saying they're doing, right? And Wyld is with Temerity as well, right? So
Yes.
yeah, so she's pretty lawful, so I trust that she's keeping an eye on him. You got something else you need to say to me as Rye approaches?
I look at Eli kind of up and down, and I just say, it'd be better if we just told these people the truth.
I didn't lie. I told him about everything except for the bloody knife, and from the state of his bag with the blood in it, that blood could have really come from anywhere. I have no clue what happened to that girl. I have an idea that maybe he was possessed and was forced to take her life, but I don't know for sure, and it's his job to find out.
And he will. That's my point. Old goats like that, they don't ever stop. They might not know everything they need to know, but they can tell when a man's lying. It'll benefit you to understand who and who you shouldn't bend the truth with or omit.
I just was trying to create more of a path of least resistance for the rest of our group so that we could get to business more quickly and put an end to whatever's causing this trouble. If we've got the sheriff chasing down half of our party for things we didn't commit when we were just trying to help these people, that's only going to get in our way.
Yeah, that's a reoccurring issue with you, it seems like. Too quick.
It's not just with me. Was I not supposed to trust that Torvin could protect her when I dropped her outside, removing her from harm's way?
I don't know. But that's the second person in the last 2 days you said you protect and couldn't. maybe you shouldn't make such bold claims if you can't follow through with them. People's lives are at stake.
All I can do is my best. My whole life I've been doubted. My whole life I've been told that I couldn't be what I was. And it's not going to stop now. Just because of some words you said to me, or because a sheriff is trying to get a rise out of me. I know what my values are, and they're not going to change.
Can I get a perception from you two, please?
Sure.
Oh my God. Big boy.
Sorry about that. I knew I forgot something.
You're fine. You're fine. No worries.
Setting everything up.
Eli is definitely going to catch this. I just wonder if Fry catches this.
Everything's still loaded up.
Man, I wanted to ask the sheriff more about his background, but it wasn't a good time when I'm getting thrown under the bus.
You have
back to my aids.
You've got luck rerolls. If you, I mean, you have 4 of them. If you want to use them.
Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing another one. What even is that? Like, did that even?
It's a 10.
Roll?
You rolled a 10. Yeah, you rolled a 10.
Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding! I'm rolling again.
Okay.
I don't even know what I'm doing with my life.
It's.
I mean, it
Okay.
went up to 14.
Even or odd in your favor.
How many do I have? I know I just did like 3.
You had
I have like
4.
1 more.
You had 4 rerolls.
Yeah,
How many did you use?
You just used 3.
3. So I'm already on my last. I'll take the 14. I'm gonna go. Cobalt. What am I doing? Even or odd?
Even, because
Even. I was feeling even too.
Even.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. You're engaging in this conversation, and Eli, you pick up on it first. You've been having this conversation now for, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes. You realize that it's getting a little heated, not quite to the point where you're like, you guys are throwing blows, but your words aren't quiet. You glance up, Eli, instinctively, and standing at the edge of the line of corn is the sheriff. And when your eyes catch his, Rye, you turn and look, and it's the sheriff. He doubled back around, and he was eavesdropping on your conversation.
All right.
And he just nods. And he turns and walks away.
Fine. I basically told him all of that anyway, and there's still the blood in the bag and the boot knife. It can't be proven. There's no way. There's no way to know what happened out here, unless you were out here. Unless you were Torvin.
I listened to Eli sort of kind of scramble and kind of
I'm making myself feel better out loud.
Yeah, out loud. And I just look at him and I just go, old goats, man. Old goats. And I just kind of walk away back through the cornfield and just kind of smile to myself. Fucking old bastard.
It's you learn it, right? Like if having kids, right? Like if you leave kids alone long enough, you let them sweat, and then you come back, it's like, all right, what do we have? And they're like, well, he did it, right? Like that's what happened. He knew he just had to let you guys sweat a little bit, and he just walked away, waited for you to turn, and then he just walked back to the edge and just waited.
Good. I hope he heard me say not to lie to him. I hope he heard that.
I didn't lie at all. Didn't lie at all. I ozzed him.
Wow.
Perfect.
I learned all these
that
useful
calling
things.
Ozzing him.
You taught me how to do it. I
Yeah.
chastised you for it, then I adopted it.
What better way to learn than from the king themselves? Perfect.
I just feel like he followed up on everything I said he would. He's everything I said he is.
Yeah, like you've got him pegged, right?
Old bastard.
I didn't kill anybody. It would have been a hammer mark.
No, not you. Not that. You're who
the sheriff.
The sheriff is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hoot. So, the camera
I like the
turns.
sheriff.
It's going to wind back time just a little bit, probably 15, 20 or so minutes, and it's going to find Tripp and Torvin and Temerity. The three of you are walking to the church. This is to the temple.
Hobbling.
Yes, the temple of Pharasma. Is there any conversation between the three of you before you arrive?
Yes, there is.
Then have at it. This is your time.
Shame on you for being a dwarf. Shame on. No, I'm just kidding. No, but as he starts, as the group is walking, he looks up to Torvin. Sorry again about the mishap back there. I did feel that I at least had to try to speak up to the sense of the group that you're a part of, even though I myself am not part of that group, to be exact.
Oh, lad, that's fine. You be you.
Thank you, but is it something that brings you pain to talk about, or maybe it's just not something that's up for discussion?
It's more a case that it's not. This would be so much easier to explain in Dwarvish. And that's the problem.
I understand. I guess it's the same way about speaking about the rules of being dead.
Would you like to explain it in Dwarvish? Because I can.
It's not the language, it's the head. What does stone mean to you? See, it's different if you're a dwarf.
I understand. As I said, it's like the rules of the dead. It's easy to speak of in common tongue, but the rules and the rules in the same sense are the things that are hard to explain. Kind of like how I knew I was being stared at with the planchette that Oz had, or being drawn to, well, and he kind of puts up his hands to the boy here. Some of it's easy to explain, others not so much. It's kind of hard to explain through terminology. And he kind of looks up to Torvin again. Is that about right?
Sort of. I mean, I can explain it, and I will, right now, but it also will mean nothing. Dwarves come from stone, don't they?
I suppose.
Historically, Tripp, you know that people come from people. You are not so naive, right? Like you, in the time that you grew up, you knew a dwarven family that had dwarven kids, and.
But would I remember that is the question.
You probably get pieces of your history, right? You don't know all the. You don't know, like, you probably can't recall the name of your mother. You don't really remember what your job was much of, but something that's so innocuous or nonchalant, like, oh yeah, there were definitely dwarf kids when I was around.
Yeah. Well, I can understand. I don't understand the terminology of what you mean by they come from stone. Other than maybe the ancestry linked to dwarves being well versed in stone making. That would probably be the extent of what I would understand about it.
Like, wait, do you mean literally from stone? Like that's how you're born? Are you saying that all dwarves have?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
I don't know. I feel like I was just kind of trying to follow the logic here, but
No. We like making the babies too.
You know, who doesn't? But here, go there.
You see Tripp just kind of looking around. Yes, I too have bedded a wench, I believe is the term people are using now. Back in my heyday. Yes.
You don't need to roll for that. You can tell he's lying.
He rolled successfully in his head, though. That's
Yes,
the
he did.
important thing.
Yes, he did.
Sandbags.
No.
They feel like sandbags.
No.
He drops his dagger. He's all, oop. Well, in any respect, if it is something that if you do ever want to go to in detail with us, I'd be very much willing to hear it.
Well, let's have a good cultural exchange then after I get like the hole in my back looked at. That'd be fine.
Understood. I just realized I don't even know if I'll actually be around at the end of all of this. Or if any of us, now that I think about it.
I'm staying.
It's a rather dreadful feeling. I'm sorry, I seem to have brought down the mood. Let's go ahead and head over to the temple, shall we?
The temple's very easy to locate. It is the most ornate structure in all of town. It is 1,000,000% out of the norm here. Where most of the buildings are sort of cheaply put together, this is an ornate stone structure, something that they brought pieces in and crafted it over time. And it falls in line with the Temple of Pharasma. Beautiful, ornate Gothic-like structures. Bell towers, bizarre gargoyle-like creatures that are deigned protectors, not something to shock children. You find the temple steps. People seem to be freely coming and going.
As Tripp gets to the steps, you see that it looks like he gets like heavier out of nowhere. He's like, "All right, sorry, being in this area makes me a little hard to adjust to." And you just see it looks like he's like it's like he's got like lead shoes on, like as he's walking up the steps.
Temerity, you know it's probably has a lot to do with the core tenets of Pharasma in general when it comes to the undead. It's not necessarily that the undead aren't welcome in the house there enough, but it's about possession, control, and just undeath in general. There is this vitriolic-like response to undeath. It's probably preventing much of Tripp's capabilities.
Yeah. You may want to stay out here. I don't think you have any business in there anyway, and I don't quite know that you'll be able to even enter, to be honest. You're right on that line for me of undead and not. So you might be over it for others, so best that you stay out here.
No problem. If anything, let me at least take your stuff inside.
Why don't you just put it down and you can stay here and guard it?
No, Peverin. Off you go, lad.
Right. And you see him as he starts walking in, and then he kind of breaks that threshold and he goes, "Whew. Wow, that was an ordeal. Well, I'll be around if everyone else shows up. I'll let them know that you're inside."
Thank you, lad.
Be safe. And he gives you a wave.
Okay. Peverin skips off with whatever belongings you've left to him. I'm supposing it's probably most of your things, but the town, again, is not very large, so it's easy enough to make it back to the Lorimore residence. Where is Peverin going?
He's going to be patrolling the area, more or less, as he's kind of walking around I would say the perimeter overall of the church. If he starts seeing Rye, Eli, Oz, if they start showing up, then he'll let them know, oh, hey, they're inside. for reasons I can't go in, but
Okay.
they're there.
All right. Sounds good. Then the camera reaffixes at this point, focusing back on Temerity and Torvin. The two of you enter the temple. You're greeted with basic clergy. They nod. They say a small prayer to your advancements in the church. They wish you well. Some basic Pharasman tutelage, if you will. You've heard it literally every day of your life, Temerity. You are not even shaken by this. You probably even like finish it for them, snap, like real fast. They are not really sure how to respond to that, but they wish you on your way.
Is there a section of the church that's normally reserved for healing and caring for people?
Oh yeah, there is a practice of what would best look like sort of like a small triage center that has a bit more of a divine focus and study on. But there are cots that are like beds to treat those that are ill, and most of those cots seem to be filled, but there are a few that are open still.
Well, I will lead Torvin, if he'll allow me. Like, I won't not physically, but walk him over to one of the cots that is empty and kind of gesture to him while flagging down some sort of initiate or healer or someone who's manning the area.
Sure, you managed to get someone's attention.
So we are, this dwarf is, he's fairly injured. Do you want to tell them what they need to help you?
There's a hole in my back.
And there might be mud in it.
Yes, we will, he
Do you mind if I just lie down here a little?
Please, lie down. Are you is he ill? Are you feeling ill at all?
No, I'm not ill. I'm just dwarf.
Oh, it's so loud. A moment, please. I will fetch the irrigation syringe.
Of course. And is there a second bed? And I'll kind of gesture to the general wound area.
Oh.
I too need some assistance. If
you seem to be bleeding profusely,
There's a big hole in her too.
Why?
Not as bad as it was, I got sewn up. At least it wasn't a grappling hook.
He motions for another cot to be sort of brought in, and you hear him grappling hook. And he sort of grabs your arm, but he sees some of the markings on your arm, and he says, Inquisitor.
That's right.
Let me fetch the father.
Thank you.
And he leaves immediately. You notice that there are a few clergy that sort of come back with some irrigation, what looks like pumps or syringes. And when they kind of they're not kind about this when it comes to you, Torvin. You're already sort of laying on your side. They sort of forcefully roll you onto your gut, and there's a pause. You can feel their hands on your side and on your back, but it's like they're sort of frozen. And when someone finally says, well, where do we use it? Where's the other one chimes in, excuse me, sir, where's you said there's a hole.
Yeah.
No, there's no hole there. There's you have some rough skin. And he kind of rubs it, and you can actually hear what sounds like some dredging of harder material. You feel it, it's pressure. It's a callus sorts. And he's like, does this hurt? And you can hear like a raking noise of fingernails across what you, not really what I would say is a chalkboard, but really dense, leathery flesh.
No.
Why'd you scream then?
I didn't know. What? I thought you were gonna put your fingers in me, honestly.
No, there's nothing to put my fingers in.
Well, there was a... Temerity, did you, finger wiggle something and fix it? I don't know.
Not today, for sure. So I would say no.
I don't know. No, I don't. You know what, lad?
Well, we won't be needing these then. Miss, you can you point to where the hole was then?
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I mean, I was busy gaining holes of my own, so not super.
I was
but
talking about my hole this time.
The younger one,
general
like,
area.
is noticeably blushing at this point, not even sure what to make of this conversation.
I'll wink at him.
It covers his mouth.
You're in a church.
I'm an inquisitor. I've seen some shit, right?
When you glance over at Torvin's back, there is no wound. In fact, it looks like the skin has calloused over. It is like marble white petrification over that wound.
Is that so do you know, and I'll look at the guy who is like tittering over all of the scandalous discussion. Is that normal? When a Sturgis inserts his proboscis into someone, for that to be the aftermath of the penetration?
The one that's blushing literally says, "I have to walk away now," and he just fades out immediately. He wants nothing more to do with this conversation. He's not even sure what to make of it. But the other one says,
Well, thank you for your help. I feels better.
No, I don't think
You've
so.
done all.
I don't.
Wonderful.
Well, if you set a sturge, would have left a hole. There's ain't nothing there.
Well, that's good to hear. Good dwarvish constitution does have a factor.
Dwarves are weird. And he just sort of walks off, like holding on to the instruments that he brought over. It's at this time that the man arrives. The Father Grimborough himself. You'd met him early on, in the very first few moments of being in the town. He shows, looking something between ancient and curdled milk, arriving on the scene, and he greets you. Temerity. What is the matter? What seems to be the problem?
Well, Father, we were attacked outside of town by Sturgises, and my dwarven friend was injured, but I was they tried to carry me away, but I was saved by the actions of my friend, but I am quite wounded. I can't feel it.
You were attacked by fish.
No, those are salmon.
No,
I don't know. It sounded like that. They looked like giant bugs.
Fish.
Right. I understand. You're speaking of the sturge.
Yes.
With a sharpened bill.
That's it. That's the thing.
Yes. Very, very good. I'm not. That's not. Never mind. That's not good. Why were you attacked?
I did not ask the sturge. It simply attacked
Well,
us.
did you provoke it?
Well, I mean, I did, but it was there, and it was attacking a man. A bunch of them were attacking a man, and I decided that was not okay.
Right.
I feel like that was a sound decision.
Well, then I suppose then we should fix this. Show me the damage that's been done. Where did the clergy boys go? Boys! He motions off before another one comes back. So, the Inquisitor here, remove the bindings. I must see the wounds. Mr. Temerity, please lie very still.
She'll kind of give an eye to one of the boys, and then just kind of close them both while she lays back, kind of trying to still herself, knowing that she's not going to feel anything. Well, at least thinking she's not going to feel anything.
They draw forth some scissor-like device to sort of cut through the material, freeing this wound up, and it's pretty nasty looking. It was safe to assume that the grappling hook would have done no justice to this wound, and it was an even better bet to just simply bind it. Found yourself in a dire situation. How do you feel?
To be honest, I mean, And I'll like poke at it a little bit. I feel pretty good.
Like leans in.
That's a little strange, I have to say.
Do you mind?
Be my guest.
He seems to kind of like touch around the wound. There's no heat, nothing of the sort, and it's not begun to fester yet. Why? When were you attacked recently?
Yeah, it was it been like a couple hours?
It's been at best hour.
Okay, so we were attacked and came directly here.
Very well. Well, this will be minor. There are no potions of the sort, but I can most assuredly repair this. You will need to be careful, as I don't know if it's going to hurt. If you weren't feeling any pain when you were attacked, well, I don't understand. It's a bit odd.
I mean, then if you don't know, who would know? Because I don't know.
You would speak to someone who has a bit more of affinity with dealing with the Wyld. It seems to like be drawing forth some sort of like thread and a hook, almost like a fish hook like needle that he's seeming to like run through the wound, pinching up. You can feel the pressure around it, but there is no real pain. Despite his age, he's moving very, very quickly and very carefully.
So it's just like my C-section. I'm here. I gotcha. Like this is.
I'll reroll it. I want to make sure that I don't fudge it too bad. But roll 20 is hard on this. They are really, really not dealing with it right now. But as he's working, where are the others attacked as well? Did you sustain more damage than this?
Well, I have some wounds on my back. They were, I don't know, about finger-sized, right? Like. And
right.
then my dwarven friend also was attacked. And then I believe there were two others that did not make it and were being cared for appropriately.
Oh, bless. It's not good. Were they where were they found?
In a barn?
In a barn.
A short distance away, within the hour from a distance. That is it like a mile, 2 miles? Do I have any gauge of that in my current state? Or
it's probably about 2.5 miles out. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll let him know approximately where it is, what it looks like.
I'm assuming that you have fetched the sheriff then.
There are more members to our party than just the two of us, and others went to fetch the sheriff. Absolutely.
Very, very good. Very good. Following the laws to the T, exactly as you would stand for the church. Very good, Mr. Temerity.
I'll peel an eye and kind of like give a little nod.
He rolls you to your side and he starts like dutifully stitching the wounds to the back. You feel some like cooling sensations as they sort of flush the wound. They sort of pack it with a variety of reagents, and it's you're probably there for another like 2 or 3 minutes before he kind of like pats you on the back, near the shoulder, and you should be fine. If you notice any surprised swelling, then you come back, please, and I'll see to you myself. I've never had a return customer, at least from the same wound.
And she'll kind of slowly sit up, even though she doesn't hurt. She's still, it's kind of muscle memory when you're a little injured. You're a little ginger, and now that she's been kind of treated in a familiar place, it feels more familiar. And she'll put her feet on the ground but stay on the cot. And we have work to do, important work. What say you in terms of how long I should wait before perhaps being physical and doing a lot of movement?
Well, I suppose I can call forth some divine prayer and expedite the process. It might keep you down for no more than a day or so.
Is anything you can do to shorten the time?
Of course. He immediately kind of falls into some ritualistic prayer. You notice a very faint glow from his hands, and he seems to be, it sort of feels like, it's like he's kind of massaging the wounds, and you feel like some of the warmth and the feeling return, which is bizarre because by doing this, he's inevitably allowing you to experience the pain again. And that pain it's vast. It's not a small amount. Where before you weren't limping, now you can feel the pressure on the abdomen. You can feel that focal point. The wound itself you can feel the heat. It's not fun. It's not a fun sensation. As someone who has had surgery around that area, I'm assuming that you can at least imagine.
Oh yeah. Suddenly everything's terrible.
Suddenly everything is terrible. As he's doing this, you notice that he's no longer like chanting, but he's still continuing with the somatic, so his hands are continuing to move. And it's a bit closer, under his breath at this point, so as to not stir people.
So I'm curious as to know what has come of the Lorimar case that you seem to be working on.
Well, not much to report other than some really odd supernatural activity that we are tracing back to the prison, and I am working with the same group of people that came for the funeral that I have been with to investigate further.
What about the church? Not church, Harrowstone, the prison. What are you trying to discover?
We're actually not quite sure what we're looking for, except for the fact that the professor seemed to have been interested in it, and we need to figure out why based on some of the very odd things that have been happening. Ghosts and things that shouldn't be here.
Well, perhaps you'd like to stay the evening, and if you were to do so, I could fetch for you some of the files that we brought from the town hall before the exchange of the building. We have some information on Harrowstone, if that would be valuable for you.
I think it would be very valuable. My only concern is the rest of my party. How is the dwarf? And is Torvin close enough for me to like...
Torvin is 3 feet away. He's probably sitting at the lip of the bed, like his feet aren't even touching the ground.
Okay. How are you feeling?
Like a dwarf. How you feeling?
Well, like a tiefling with a healing hole in her belly.
It's a big hole. It's
not small.
Look, I'm fine. I can go and speak to the others. That's okay. But these pipers, ooh.
I think that I should stay for both healing and for the information. I feel as if that'll be more valuable than going in earlier than we could have, and I will be of no use for about the same amount of time. So I will stay here if you could tell the others.
I can do that. You rest.
Well, I'll certainly try to.
He'll pack you with some light provisions, just in case anything else is to happen. It's basically some wound packing, and he will kind of give you this small suture or sewing kit.
Since you've brought this wounded specimen in the Inquisitor, Pharasma, you must take care. A bit of a rarer creature. The Inquisitors can bring forth light or bring you down under their heel. So heed the right side, Mr. Dwarf.
Sure.
You get a toothy grin.
I'll give him a different toothy grin, like, look at me. And when I do that, I kind of twist and not realize that everything hurts now, and I'll just like, oh, like not good, not my best moment.
Well, if you need a moment still, I'll grab one of the clergy and we'll start to wheel out the additional files that we had collected from the town hall.
Well, if you need me where they are rather than bringing them here, I'll just boost myself off the cot. Then please lead the way.
Let me help you.
And he offers a less than mobile arm and shoulder.
He's like old as dirt, right? Like
He's
in frailty.
old as sin.
Okay, I will like lightly put my finger like on his arm, like a courtesy, like okay, like the quaint old. He's
Sure,
the guy who
sure.
runs the church. I gotta be at least respectful. Like thank you, and I'll get up entirely under my own power. Yes, he's Master Pycelle without maybe with the creepiness. I don't know what he's doing under the covers, but.
Leave the father alone. He's a good bean. Okay, he's a good one.
I mean, I guess Pycelle was a terrible man, but they all were in that show. So
yeah, not wrong. He'll lead you to a private quarter. It's not a very large room, but the files are stuffed quite literally to the ceiling. It is a brim's job worth. So he tells you where there's information on Harrowstone. He tells you where there is information on some of the people of the town. He gives you information on some of the patients that have been served in this establishment, right? Like he just tells you that he wishes you the best.
There's quite a bit more here than I've ever gone through myself. So I wish you well, and I will bring whatever you might need to keep you sated.
I appreciate it, and I'll pull over a stool or a chair or something that I can kind of rest on, give myself a little respite, and pull the closest relevant document towards me and start scanning.
All right, this is where things get a little interesting and fall down to dice. There's a lot to learn, particularly in this place. You tell me what you want to search.
I would like to specifically search for records of the time right around when Harrowstone kind of ceased.
Okay. All right. Give me whatever knowledge check will be relevant for that search. Add 4 to it. That is not great.
Hi. Apparently I'm playing the part of Ello tonight. 18.
That's pretty good. That's 18. Are you satisfied with that, or do you want to try? Okay,
no,
all right.
I don't like where that's going.
All right, that seems good. Okay, perfect. An 18. So what you seem to gain on the information of Harrowstone, you find out that Harrowstone was built in 4594. It was founded at the same time as the place where the guards and their families could live that would produce food and other supplies used by the prison. You also discovered that the fire that killed all of the prisoners and most of the guards destroyed a large portion of the prison's underground eastern wing, but left most of the stone structure above relatively intact. The prison's warden perished in the fire, along with his wife, although no one knows why she was in the prison when the fire occurred.
So that is I'm sorry, say that for some reason, his title escapes me, the prison warden.
The prison warden, yes. The prison warden perished in the fire along with his wife, though nobody is really sure why she was in the prison when the fire even occurred.
Is there something that says what her name is?
We know her name.
You do know her name, but this file does not indicate her name.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that they were the same people.
Correct.
Okay.
Since then, a statue commemorating the warden and the guards who lost their lives was built in the months after the tragedy. The statue still stands on the riverbank just outside of town. Additionally, there are some rumors that are noted that the building has stood vacant ever since. There are some notes that it looks like this event occurred, right? The fire occurred in 4661. You know that it is exactly 50 years later. The locals...
From now?
Yes, from that point. So 4661, add 50 years, that is the current date. The locals suspect that this is a haunted place. They don't enjoy speaking about it. They try to keep it to themselves. So what you know, that the town was built alongside Harrowstone, and it was occupied by the guards' families. And their extended family so that they could bring stock into the prison. What else might you want to try to find out?
Who the list of people?
So
Who was in the East
right,
Wing?
thank you. The who is there a list of prisoners who died in the fire as well?
There is a list of prisoners, yes. Not all of the details can be gathered, but let's go ahead and get another knowledge history. That's going to add 4 to it again still. Are you happy with that, or do you want to hope for more?
I got 3 more.
If you haven't used any, yes.
I've used 1.
Okay. That puts you at 16.
Let's just stay there.
You know what? I've got a luck reroll if you want to use my last. I've got 2 left. So
Well, how many do we have total?
4.
Yeah, okay, so I have 2 more left. And I'm feeling like you want me to do that.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Okay,
That's good.
we do
Yeah.
that.
So
I'm gonna keep that one.
prisoners. This is what you wanted to know about. Okay. All right, prisoners. You have exactly a 21. All right, so originally Harrowstone housed only local criminals, but as the prison's fame spread, other countries and distant lands began paying to have their most dangerous criminals housed within the prison's walls. At the time of the Great Harrowstone Fire, the number of particularly violent and dangerous criminals imprisoned within the dungeon was at an all-time high. Most notably, the 5 most notorious prisoners in Harrowstone at the time of the Great Fire were Father Charlatan, the Lopper, the Mosswater Marauder, the Piper of Illmarsh, and the Splatterman.
No one named Tripp. In these.
Correct.
Okay.
You find 5 cases that are sealed. These aren't sealed with wax. These are sealed what looks to be by mechanical devices, and each of them say the name: Father Charlatan, the Lopper, the Mosswater Marauder, the Piper of Illmarsh, and the Splatterman. You can attempt to take this apart, but these are sealed with the design of which it is supposed to hide the information from certain people. Think of it as like a lock and key. If you fail to do this naturally, you might break it and destroy the information on them.
Can I call back Father Griborough and ask him if he has anything to open it?
Sure. If you wait the moment you set this information aside, he will. It'll take him some time to get there, probably within, I don't know, half an hour or so before he finally will return, bringing back what looks to be a variety of things for you to either sip on or eat. Not anything super crazy or very exotic, but enough to sort of like slake any hunger you might have.
You have a problem then. This is something that you need some help with.
Yes, I'm unable to open these without damaging them, and I would very much like to see what the contents are. Is there any assistance you can provide?
I don't recognize these. No, I'm afraid I was never offered keys to this. You might need to seek a blacksmith, or perhaps a locksmith even.
Are they of a size that I could put in my satchel?
Not all 5 of them. He touches one for a moment, and he realizes that where the handle is on each of these, because they have like what looks to be an area that's raised, sort of shaped like a briefcase.
They spin. Did you notice this?
Take a closer look. I didn't. and I'll start to fiddle with them, spinning whatever way feels like the path of least resistance.
Okay, this is where things get a little more difficult. Temerity, what's your skill like being a trapsmith?
Trapsmith?
Yeah. Do you have much in the way of disable device?
I have. It says 3. The total is 0, but it says I have 3.
Why is it total 0? Is it because you're
I don't know.
burdened?
I might still have my. Oh, I have my Do I still have the fortitude damage? Remember, I took 3 fortitude temporary last game. It's still there. And my willpower, I have 2 temporary.
You are not wrong. Yeah, you
Let me remove both of those.
No, the Constitution is still still there. So that's
Okay.
That's gonna be removed. It's something that'll probably remove itself overnight, but
Okay.
for the sake of this, I mean, you can still technically try.
Okay, we'll do it. Um,
18's
sorry,
really
what?
fucking good. It's not good enough.
oh fuck.
I'm sorry. I wish I could
Did
help
she get
more.
their +4? Or no.
No, this is not history
It's
check.
research.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find something that can assist me. Perhaps a key for the key slot. But as far as I can tell, I'm bereft of the ideas.
I mean, I might have better luck in the morning. Would it be possible that I could take these from here and bring them to a blacksmith? Is there someone who could bring them for me, an initiate that could bring these to a local blacksmith on my behalf, and I could meet them there in the morning?
He raises his eyebrows and says,
My dear, you are an inquisitor of Pharasma. There's very little we can do to stop you.
kind of winks at you.
I'll give him a little sly smile. Then let's have that done.
Okay. There was one other additional piece of information. I know that you had intentions of searching it. I know that we had talked about it, and I can remind you, but if there was something that you guys wanted to talk about amidst you before you go, maybe there was some more information that you wanted to search before you pass on. Or at least move to the next task.
The way in Ravengrove, like they're seeking someone from Harrowstone. So, you got the list of everyone who died the night of the fire?
I think I only have correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I understand what you said is that there were a lot of prisoners who died, but there was 5 really notorious ones. Here's the information about those. They didn't really cover the riffraff. They covered,
Correct.
Yeah. So we don't have the full list, but we have here's the big hitters, the heavy hitters.
Do they have like a layout of the prison who was in the east section? Because that's where the fire started, right?
That's right.
Did you want to do any research on, you said Ravengrove, and then you said The Way?
The Way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I also want to look to see if I can find anything while I'm rifling for that information on Tripp.
Okay. You look for give me history checks. So let's start with, you got everything you basically can on Harrowstone. You're not really going to find much in the way of a map, especially that's that far dated, since the townsfolk pretty much went into mourning immediately. Unless you can find a mayor that has long since been dead and kept this as like a prize piece. That being said, you can look up the other 2 pieces. Will require a history check. Oh, that's pretty good. What you gonna search?
We'll do the Ravengrove.
Ravengrove is, it's the town, right? Ravengrove itself is a town of folks that, like, this place was established. It was built with the intention of bringing the guards' families here. The families that they had started, they were pretty much all paid to come to this area to establish a town. So when they took breaks, all they had to do was walk a mile back to their house. That's why this prison was so important to so many people, because they built a town right next to it. So the guards didn't have to move that far away. They also weren't stuck at the prison themselves. They were shackled there for a variety of reasons, but they could just leave at any point. So the people that are still here, either they are fresh moves, or these are all the descendants of the people that occupied and worked at Harrowstone.
Is there any way to know, like, an approximate percentage of who's new, who's not?
Word of mouth, best.
Okay.
Just ask some of the locals who's new, who's been around in the last 50 years, if anyone's been alive that long. And then the last is the way.
Another history check?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, so not so much on that.
Go ahead and use one of mine.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
I see everything that ever happened.
That puts you at 25. Okay, 25, and you gain all of the information on this as even or odd. Just literally a DC 25 check.
Even.
I only have one luck reroll left at this point, so it'll be up to chat to make this happen if we guess wrong. You said even?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's even. It's as even as it gets. Oh, love it. You'll love to see it.
Oh.
In player favor. Okay. All right. So you wanted to know about the way.
Mm-hmm.
What we know in the earliest part here. The Whispering Way is a sinister organization of necromancers active in the Inner Sea region for the last thousands of years. Agents of the Whispering Way often seek alliances with undead creatures, or are themselves undead. The Whispering Way's most notorious member was a person by the name of Tar-Baphon. He was called the Whispering Tyrant. The society itself has existed much longer than even this mighty necromancer. The Whispering Way itself is a series of philosophies that can only be transferred via whispers. The philosophies are never written or spoken loudly, making the exact goals and the nature of the secretive philosophy difficult for outsiders to learn much about. And the last bit of information. Exact details on the society are difficult to discern, but chief among the Whispering Way's goals are discovering the formula for creating liches and engineering the release of the Whispering Tyrant. Agents often travel to remote sites or areas plagued by notorious haunts or undead menaces to perform field research or even to capture unique monsters. Their symbol is a gagged skull, and those who learn too many of the Way's secrets are murdered. Their mouths are mutilated to prevent their bodies from divulging secrets via Speak with the Dead. The rest of the details seem to be removed. Redacted.
Bro, they killed Professor L.
Mm-hmm.
He got too close.
Mm-hmm.
They're about
Good
to
thing
kill
somebody
Temerity.
noticed his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my spell check's like, help me, please fix all this.
Damn, right in the redacted, right? I can't believe you rolled that high. Like, I saw that you had the +1. I was like, no, that's a 5% chance. Snowflake's chance in hell. And sure enough, bam. Well done.
Just call me a snowflake, I guess. It's really positive, right?
Very well done. I can't believe you hit it though. That's good stuff. You got a lot of information there. This is gonna take most of your night. Okay, you are gonna be knee deep in paperwork, but you have gained a lot of information, and you'll be able to, on the next day, or at least probably even that night, right? Like, I'm not gonna say this is gonna take your entire day. It's probably gonna take you the next 4 or 5 hours of wading through paperwork because you're gonna hit a lot of dead ends.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll be able to take this to either a blacksmith or a locksmith and have them decipher the events regarding these 5 figures.
Mm-hmm.
just so you're aware, and for everybody else as well, those 5 figures again, now that we know them, let's see, where's my paperwork here?
It's Father Charlatan,
Yep.
the Lopper,
Mhm.
the Mosswater Marauder, the Piper of Ilmarsh, and the Splatterman.
The Splatterman.
I
That's
think
right.
I've seen that movie.
Perfect. Okay. Our scene transitions. At this point, it's going to follow Tripp. Tripp, you were maneuvering outside of the church at this point. You're going back and forth, just sort of minding your own, right? Nobody really suspects Pevrin of much. Why he has the traveling supplies of some adventurers beyond them, but at this point, nobody is raising a fuss about it. He's a good kid, at least as far as they can tell. You're minding your own business, waiting, watching, hoping to see someone that you know as Tripp. Maybe Oz will pop. Maybe you'll see Torvin make his way out. Eli's got to show up eventually. I mean, it's natural for the course at this point. Rye as well. When you're approached by nobody you immediately know, another child. Hello, Pevrin.
Get the fuck away from me. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus. What are you doing?
Oh, learning to be an adventurer.
An adventurer? Why are you doing that?
Because it's what men do when they grow up. Yep.
You got a long time before you grow up. So why are you trying to be an adventurer now? You can't fight nothing. Look at your muscles. They're little.
So what? I can still do more than you can. Child.
Child? I'm 1/2 year older than you.
Not wiser, though.
Maybe so, but you're uglier. Yeah, I said it.
Oh, you want to see ugly then? He pulls up his cowl, shows his eyes, he goes, "La."
Jesus Christ, man. When you do that, you notice the smile and that almost smug-like face sort of drop, right? Just absolutely drop. And then you hear another voice. Cheeky.
That's when the daggers come out.
Oh, not here. You don't want to do much. You wouldn't want to stab a friend, would you?
I didn't have any friends in Harrowstone.
Not you, idiot. The boys.
What are you doing here? Who are you? Which one are you?
Oh, come on. Don't play pretend. You recognize an old friend when you seen him. Plus, I have a tantamount of style.
Whatever I roam, seems to push back his hair, driving it over his head.
That is the Lopper, if I remember correctly. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. The Lopper. And he says that out loud.
Ooh.
Like whispers, but he says it.
Spooky, isn't it? People haven't muttered my name in the last 50 years. At least not with sincerity.
But your friends, they have been. Have you figured out why? Why I might be a topic of conversation? Why they've been speaking of old Vance?
Because all of us have become a problem in the town.
A problem? Why? I haven't killed anyone yet. Yet. And I haven't done anything about you. You seem to be occupying a boy's body.
I don't believe I'm a killer.
Don't believe it. You wound up in the gulag just like the rest of us. You're the worst of the worst, they said. I mean, I know otherwise. I know you're a coward. There's gusto, and
the way you grip that blade. But we know that you couldn't harm a fly. Or maybe just a fly. At least from what I've heard.
You'll be put back in your cell soon enough.
Ooh.
Just like the rest of us.
Well, that's no fun, is it? I don't want to go back. I want to go free. There's so many heads that need to be severed from their shoulders. It's more fun that way. It's like playing tag. I would wait in a bush, sometimes an hour, sometimes a day, sometimes 2 or 3 days, before finally my target would pop right back up. And we lop right off the heads.
Right as he does that
say,
pop,
right?
you see his like, he like visibly flinches.
You're so weak. No fortitude. You know that you're just going to lead them right into the devil's den, right? Into the belly of the beast. And they'll be swallowed. Harrowstone takes no prisoners.
Apparently can't keep any in anymore either.
I know, it's a right blast, isn't it?
They're more than capable of stopping all of you.
Or,
I've already seen what they can do.
Or, even better, maybe they'll go there and they'll wind up the perfect body, like a glove of sorts. We'll put the band back together. We'll get the Piper, and we'll get the Marauder. Hell, maybe we even get old Splatter. But finally we might be able to get our escape just yet. Be on our ways. You'd like that though, wouldn't you? You got family somewhere. You're one of them, elven boys. You're supposed to live forever, right? Or at least until someone puts a knife in your back.
What do you know about me? And he like grips the blade forward and he like points it up.
We all saw you. We saw your ears. We know that you're not human. I mean, Splatter was not quite human, but he's not quite most of the man either. He's more beast than anything. But I know Moss. Moss is a dwarf. Basically lives forever as well.
We're not meant to be forever.
No, of course we're not meant to be forever. Bodies are not supposed to be forever, but we were shortchanged. It took us before our time. Even you know that. You drown out in your cell.
Coming to us.
Really, you believe that?
I have to.
You earnestly believe that you got what was coming to you?
It would be the only reason I was in Harrowstone. This could just be my atonement, putting the 5 of you back in.
You're hilarious. You didn't belong in Harrowstone, you idiot. You're in for evasion. Tax evasion. That's what all the guards said. You took the fall. A noble pinned it on your back. So you took the fall for some big-headed noble who threw away your reputation, tossed your chance at a family. And you think, well, you think you got lucky. Well, I suppose you're more lucky than ever then. You made it out then. You got a second chance, and now here you are. Playing hide and go seek in this boy.
Not hiding from anything.
Well, you're seeking something, right?
To put an end to this. The city doesn't deserve this.
Oh, the city doesn't deserve it, but we didn't. Well, you didn't deserve it. Maybe a couple of them guards didn't deserve it, but it sure would have been fun. I don't know, I just want to propose, right? Just think about it. Because when they're done, they're your friends. Anyway, when they're done, you're just going to die. You'll go back to wandering the world eternal, stuck between here and there. But we could be living like kings, Tripp. You can live again. And of course, I'm not suggesting that you have to go killing babies or mounting maidens or anything crazed like that. Just saying, you could have another chance. Just draw them in. Bring them into Harrowstone. Let them get their guard down. Give us a chance. What do you say, chap?
If what you say is true, then even more reason why all of you should be put back there. I'm not going to let you take any of them.
That if you put us back there, that you are gonna be stuck there with us forever. Forever. And if the others, they find out, but you sabotage the odds of us claiming a new body, well, there will be no hell like the ones that we offer you for the rest of your blinking days. Unless that's what you're after, of course.
It's one soul for countless lives.
You were always the golden boy, but still a coward. Go on, do it. Do it. You got the dagger right there. Kill me. I'm occupying the host body. Don't you think it would potentially even kill me? But maybe the boy too. It was a gamble, right? Right?
He puts the dagger down and just punches the shit out of the kid.
Make an attack.
What's my hit? Plus 30? Auto crits on children?
You took that feat? That's awesome.
Oh my god.
Specifically knowing I was going to fight small children, I was like, I need this. 19.
Ooh, okay. All right, sir. I need you to do me a favor.
And the head comes clean off.
I need you to do me a favor.
This isn't lethal. I'm not trying to kill him. Just so we're putting it out there.
Too late now.
I'm not trying to take this dude. I'm not trying to be the next Lopper 2.0.
I need for you to roll me a D4 plus a D2.
D4 plus /
Are there like adults around that can like?
Yes.
Okay. You're gonna see this fucking pummeling coming out of Everett.
I want you to use my last reroll on that D4.
Bam, max damage.
Yes. Yes. Oz. At this point, you have wrapped up all of your time at this point at the apothecary. Eli, Rye, you've been walking back into the town, trying to mind your own, probably staying a distance back, but as you're moving in the direction of the Lorimore house, hoping that you can catch either Torvin or you can catch Temerity, you come upon a scene. Peverin, still carrying some of the belongings of Torvin and Temerity, the three of you can see he's having a conversation with another child. Maybe you're walking in his direction. Maybe you're watching this play out. What you weren't expecting is for him to drop a dagger at the child's feet. And as the kid looks down, Peverin pulls back and slugs the kid, open chest style. But where you would expect the kid to fall, instead, his arm falls short and a black appendage erupts from the palm, and the child begins to lift from the ground as if something is hoisting him. And Peverin just stands there. You drain 6 of his constitution and apply 5 damage, and the boy dies immediately.
I get 6 temporary hit points.
And this is where we end tonight's session.
Shit.
My bad.
That's your response? I get 6 temporary hit points.
Oh my god.
You better use them up now.
man.
They're only temporary.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This is where we end tonight's session.
Oh my goodness.
My bad.
Peverin's sitting there. Wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Looking
Did
looking
you
around.
just see that?
Clear off. Just
Oh my god.
wow.
No.
Dang.
Let's go down to the prison.
Now I belong in Harrowstone.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Damn.
Perfect.
I can't believe Pevrin killed someone.
Yeah.
Not
wouldn't do that
Tripp.
shit. No.
Yeah, that was Pevrin, 100%.
Dude,
Eli is gonna lose his
I
shit,
don't know.
I
It
think.
might have been Eli. I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying. I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
it's me. I did it.
I look
Eli,
over at Eli and I'm
Eli,
like, aren't
you're
you
witnessing
supposed to
this.
protect these kids?
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I know.
Aren't you supposed to
I
be
just wanted to go to
protecting
the forge, man.
Guys, I found Torvin's dagger right near this child.
Dude, Eli's like, I just want to go to the forge. He sounds like what's his name in Clerks. You know, he's like, I'm not
Right.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, like I'm supposed to be at the forge.
Yep. Fucking Dante.
Oh
Dante
my
Hicks.
God.
Yep.
So
Okay.
so now the question is that something that Tripp manifested, or is that something that Pevrin manifested?
Well, I mean,
Does
we'll have
it
to talk about it.
matter?
We'll have to talk
I
about
mean,
it
it
later.
definitely does. The implications of Tripp doing it is more like a Tripp ability.
You know,
The
I throw
implications
all
of
the rest of the haunt siphons at Pevrin.
the interesting thing about it is Tripp knows that he did it, but perceptions are the damnedest things. This looks like it's coming out of Pevrin for all of the onlookers.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there's already
Yeah.
some Nadal craziness with him.
I'll just-
so
I'll just come back. I'll just like after the kid drops, I'm like, oh, I just got back to this body. What happened? Oh dang, like this. I was back at Harrowstone, guys. Like
He's dead.
oh,
He's
oh,
dead. He killed him. It's just
Tripp, I just saw you force choke a child. Alright.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Oh,
much force
perfect.
behind it. He gave up. Look how easy he got taken down.
Wow, you're
Found
right.
dinner for you, Oz.
Survival of the
Yeah,
fittest.
It's
And
totally the kid who got hit's fault.
well,
Oh,
I
goodness.
mean, if he had 7 con,
Yeah, I was like,
he would have made it out.
He should
But
have fucking rolled better.
he
Fucking
should
rolled
have
better.
ate his vegetables.
Yeah,
Should
not-
have ate his fucking vegetables. His
Goodness
frail
gracious.
I'm like, look,
constitution.
bro, it's not my fault. You put con as your dump stat. Like, roll
Yeah.
better.
Kids
Roll
are
better.
stupid.
Oh
Kids are
my
stupid.
God. God damn it.
Kids are
Perfect.
so dumb. It's either that. Listen, it was either force choking or if you sneezed at him wrong.
I look after like I'm like, look at me. I am the lopper now.
Oh no.
Oh, that's fucking terrible, man.
Shit.
That's so beautiful.
Oh, jeez.
The bub giveth and bub caused child homicide. Jeez, listen, not true. Okay, I didn't
Happy
ask for this to
Tuesday.
happen.
I mean, technically it was Bub's fault. He was the one who made me wraith punch a child. I mean, let's put it out there.
Hey, you didn't have to
was-
do anything. You could have been the bigger ghost. All right,
I was.
you were the weak.
Literally.
Coward
I
ghost.
was.
Alpha ghost.
If
Alpha
I
ghost.
was so weak, how did I kill a kid?
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, whatever helps you sleep at night.
As a
in one
kid.
hit.
We're gonna go ahead
As a
and well, let our players here go. Let's do our shoutouts. We're gonna start with Cobalt. Tell us about you, boss. What are you doing? Where? I'm sorry. I can see you shaking your head like you have regrets. You're so upset. I'm sorry.
I don't know what to do. I'm gonna use all
How
the
about
haunt
the color
siphons.
spray Pevrin in the face?
Change.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to lay on hands and maybe I don't know. You're gonna die, Tripp.
Yeah, just kill Pevrin.
Double fist you and Rye at the same
Look,
time.
You get rid of the conduit, you solve all the problems. Okay.
And then I'm
Cobalt.
gonna feed the child remains to Oz.
Damn.
I
Damn.
don't eat children.
I don't eat children.
Yes.
I love how you have to scream that.
Oh my
and
God.
Rye doesn't
Like
eat
the
dogs,
millionth
technically.
time.
It's literally that. Tripp's gonna do that. It's that fading meme, right? The guy that's like, and just like pieces out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, get in there, Rye. Go try to catch that soul before it flutters off too, bud.
Oh my gosh, I'm not a soul catcher. Listen,
Just
people are
magnet
still
that
gonna.
child soul into your
You know
body
what?
like Magneto.
People are still gonna get mad about Rye about that stupid dog, and then we have like Tripp here murdering kids. They're not gonna say a thing about it. They're not gonna say a thing about this murdered kid. They're gonna keep being mad at Rye for the stupid dog thing. All
Look,
right.
All I know is
Alright.
there's wheat
Stupid
barrels
dog
around the
thing.
church. We just dump him in one. He ferments. We make an ale. Get over it. You know, it's just how we do things. It's
Oh
just,
wow.
It's good.
Listen to this guy, chat.
Well, you can follow me on CobaltStreak on TV where we don't murder children.
Well, actually,
I mean,
your stream actually murders the most children.
Yeah.
I do.
wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually,
The kid's only killing himself, though.
you kill them with tears and urine and poop and
you're
all
killing
sorts of
yourself.
fun
And mom's
things.
knife.
Yeah.
But it's yourself. You're trying to stop yourself from being born. So you go in to end yourself before.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
It's kind of.
How did all those other
Anyway,
fetuses get there?
Yeah. they're all just Isaac dressed like him different characters. It's all the same character. Even
Poor
the hens
Isaac.
all resemble Isaac. So he's just a little fucked up boy. He's even more messed up than Tripp, I think.
Oh god.
But yeah, we're checking out Tainted Grail as well, and I have this other.
It's
roguelike we're gonna be trying
amazing.
too.
It's amazing.
Oh, you tried it? I played it a little bit before stream.
I feel
and it
like-
seemed pretty cool.
I've got like 40 hours into Tainted Grail.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was like out for like a week or whatever. Like I didn't even know.
Yep, it's I think not even like early access or anything. So we're gonna be doing some Isaac, checking that out, and this other roguelike that is a surprise. And yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing pretty much all week. And Thursday more D&D
Sick.
as well. So
Nice. Well, next we got Imperial. Misty, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you?
I am. We just wrapped up St. Jude yesterday, so that's awesome. And thank you to everyone who was involved in that. I kind of don't know what I'm gonna do now, because I just spent a month like hardcore fundraising, and I'm like, what? There's life outside of this right now, and I'm excited to find it. I'll be sewing and getting back to my Sims. And probably back in my Stardew bullshit very soon. Twitch.tv/Imperial, and then everything else is just right there because I had a tank girl phase and it's hard to find me. So go next. That's me.
Pow. All right, we got Torvin, aka the Stoneheart himself. Tell us about you, boss. What are you doing? Where can we find you these days?
I'm still over at Wyld, pretty much on all platforms. I'm about to be going into a brand new Minecraft mod pack, which we'll talk about on stream later, but it is a bit of a surprise and a secret, so news soon. And also there's too much PoE happening in my life. I can't stop playing it.
Good. Proud of you for finding your addictions and sticking to them. My hero. Maggie, tell us about you. What are you doing? Where can we find you when you're not whisking us away with tales of Billy Joe Briar?
You know, Billy Joe Briar is in my heart forever. You can find me at MargaretKrohn in all of the places because that's my name and that's where you can find me. I do something almost every day, or I have content coming out every single day. So if you want to check that out, just follow me so you know. I always let you know on Twitter whenever those things go live. And then, of course, I make video games for a living. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation, and you can find it at Ashes of Creation in all of the places.
Super cool. I'm digging it. Next, also, I mean, we kind of catch her here on Mondays when we're playing It Takes Two and trying not to be terrible parents together. We're failing that, though. We're failing that a lot.
We're terrible parents. We laugh while our child is crying tears.
Yeah, we dance in those tears.
Shower
Wow,
in
this
the
is just
tears of your crying child.
the-
Yep.
Yeah.
The anti-children agenda in this. I don't know.
I
what to think
love
about it.
kids. All right, I'm the only one.
Oh God.
Look, I was horrified that entire time, and I'm really bad at platformers, so
It's all right. I'm keeping her honest in it. Okay, you guys gotta pop in and see it. It's hilarious. It's honestly the last couple of Mondays that we played it, I've ended the stream with my face hurting, like actually hurting from laughter. So it's
I'm
just like
laughing so hard. Yeah.
Ello, when Rye is not out there eating dogs and liking the most hated character in the game, what else are you doing these days?
Well, I'm super punctual to all of my events. That's something that you can always rely on. No, I apologize, everybody. I had an intense sleep battle with Alexa, and I guess I undid my alarm. So you can find me at Ellohime and pretty much everything. If you guys need to know my socials, it's on my channel. Yeah, you guys are welcome to check me out. I usually stream early mornings, like all night. So AM time, and yeah, that's me. Sorry guys that I was late. I apologize. And yeah,
Unforgivable.
You're fired.
Yeah. We're just gonna be letting Rye go, I guess. Xander, when you're not out here killing kids, you know.
When I'm not killing kids, I'm getting temporary hit points because that's what raids do.
That's
You're gonna need them.
What are you doing, man? Where can we find you these days?
I am supposed to be streaming, but my ass is super lazy and I work retail, so my soul's pretty much not here 9 times out of the 10 out of the week. But you know, I'm here on Tuesdays, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
And should have been Wednesdays, but you know, things happen. But Tuesdays, I'm here.
Yep. And
with you guys.
And next Tuesday we will have the full squad again. So long as everything works out, we will have Tripp along for that particular session as well.
And another kid down, guaranteed, guys.
How
That's my
long
promise
will we
to
have
you.
Tripp for that episode?
Right.
I don't think Tripp is gonna survive for very long. So
I don't think Tripp is gonna survive. I'm like, bro, look what Torvin did. Look what he made me do with his dagger. I think it's cursed.
Right.
You need to get rid of it.
Wow.
that's gonna work for you.
Wow. Damn. Oh my
Better
goodness.
Luxor.
That leaves me. You guys can find me here. You already know what I'm doing here. You're on this channel because you like the stories I tell, or you like watching me play poorly on video games and stuff like that. So thank you guys for hanging out and contributing to the cause, making sure my players get lots and lots of luck rolls. I am forever grateful. And as always, if you guys want to drop back in next Tuesday, reach here early so we can get our Harrowstone cards, our Harrow deck. Perhaps you want to utilize your wild magic. And the best way to do that is through Patreon. Keep the stream alive, keep the dream alive. And I will catch you cats tomorrow, where I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm doing something, but I'll be here and we'll play games or something. So, bye guys.
Team pays bills for
Bye.
everybody.